It is a great day here on the Scoop with Dukes. Not only because we got to open our eyes this morning, thank you, Lord, but also because I get to go see my cousin in Cleveland, man. I get to slide up to Ohio and go kick it with my cousin. G. Bush is here live on the Scoop with Dukes. G, what's up, big dog?
Hey man, what's up, man? Listen, man, it's a blessing to be on the platform as people don't even know. You know, Browns camp is going on right now, but I got a conversation to have with you right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how important it was. You know what I'm saying? Well, we tapped in. I appreciate you blessing my platform. I told you it was only right that when you wanted it, hit me up. And you was like, yo, we need that. And I'm on it, man. So I appreciate you, and I'm glad to have a conversation, man, with you. It's going to be a great day.
Man, I appreciate it, man. And first and foremost, this is brought to you by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. If you haven't already, download the app, use the code HMA, and when you play your first $5, you get $150 in lineups if you win. All right, a big if you win. G. Bush. Now, shout out to Debbie Garcia. She just came in the chat. She was like, she been like since last year. She was like, "Hey, Dukes, you got to get with G. Bush." You have such a robust personality. Like, you could touch in a lot of places, as far as subject matter goes. What was your upbringing like? Where are you from originally, and what was it like growing up there?
Man, I first and foremost, I was born in Canton, Ohio. I'm from the Hall of Fame city. So, you know, football is like in my DNA. Like, I could see the Hall of Fame from my bedroom window.
Wow.
So, you know, coming up in Canton, Ohio, we was always, positioned that we was in football. We about family. And then the next thing is just about the faith. That was the biggest thing. And I always say, you know, I grew up in a Black community. There's a lot of times where you aren't blessed to have a mother and a father in your home. And not only was I blessed with a mother and father, I was blessed with a mother and father who both graduated from college. My father, I'm the oldest of three boys, and they come from strong families of entrepreneurs. And so my father is one of I believe 11 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
My mom has 7 brothers and sisters. And so football was huge. And the thing that we always remember was, on Sunday, we was always in church. So even when we had film review for playing in high school, we was going to church, and the church was right around the corner from my house. So the only thing I was looking forward to is I seen the church, I seen the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we, in the family aspect, and we as a tight-knit group of people. So that's where I was born. I played 3 sports in high school. At Canton McKinley, I was fortunate enough, we won a national championship in 1997, USA Today. So I played on that team with some great players like Kenny Peterson, Mike Doss. They went on to play Ohio State and won a national championship in 2001 against one of the great Miami teams. I played, basketball, Division I basketball for Canton McKinley. I also played baseball. Baseball was like the first sport I grew up and loved. My dad was a great baseball player. He was a pitcher. For me, sports was just a huge part of my background. I eventually went to Ohio University and got a football scholarship there, played there for 5 years, got redshirted a year, played with my brother in college too.
Wow.
So, I'm very blessed to be where I'm at. And that's why it puts on me and my heart, much is given, much is required. So if I was given those advantages, I got to make sure I put that back, and I got to give it back and put it back in the streets too.
Man, that's awesome. When did you realize football, of the 3 sports you played, when did you realize football was going to be the one that got you free school?
Well, it was crazy. When I was growing up, my mom was always big in academics. And like for me, man, I remember taking these, advanced tests and going to these. I was like in a split class in 3rd and 4th grade. And I remember being in these little like classes where they used to it was for, I don't know, quote unquote smart people. But I just remember only being a Black kid in there and being like, they're like, yeah, this is independent learning. What we're going to do is you want to I'm going to put 10 things on the board, 10 things on the board, and you choose which one you want to do as long as you get it done. And I'm like, man, well, shoot, I'm about to just sit here and draw. I'm going to draw, bro. I'm worried about that rest in the past. But my mom was always big into education. And I think when there was a program where you could be like a foreign exchange student, right? And it wasn't a foreign exchange. They would basically pay for you to go abroad and do school. And my mom was like, you're not mature enough. And at the time, I really wasn't into tackling nobody. I didn't really start playing football until I was like 13. My younger brother that played at college, he played since he was 6. Okay. I was like, I don't know how I feel about being outside. I don't feel like it's hot. People hit. I'm cool on that. I'll play baseball. Fortunately for me, I wasn't good in basketball. I didn't get good in basketball until I got cut from the 7th grade team, and I worked all summer. I'm like, I ain't get cut ever again. I was always competitive.
Okay.
But I didn't really start playing football until I was 13, and I really wasn't good at it at all. Like, I remember my dad was like, bro, you're trash. All you do is go out here and pull your pads up. You the biggest kid out here, and you really ain't no good. But I kind of kept going. I developed late. And I remember when I was about 16, I remember being like, man, I feel like I'm faster. Like, I feel like I could jump a little bit. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I started hitting a couple weights, and then I grew to be like 6'5", like 260. And then it kind of clicked for me. And then the first year that we played on the national championship team, and I was behind Kitty Peterson, who's, you know, a professional athlete, went on to play for the Packers and went on to play for a lot of teams. I remember sitting behind him and everything, and I just got tired of it. I'm like, bro, this dude is just in front of me and everything. Right. And I didn't play much. I got an opportunity to run out on kickoff and special teams. But I remember my dad every single day, the coach was telling me, if you played on any other team in the country, you would start. And I just took it as disrespectful. I was just mad. Like, I was just an angry little child. And I remember going out in practice and say, listen, well, these going to be my games. And then my junior year, I didn't play at all very much until during the preseason, the coach's son was ahead of me. Mm-hmm. And I kind of know something about, like, kind of feeling like the deck is stacked against you. And I just remember saying, you know what? When I get my opportunity, it's over. And I remember one day the coach's son ended up getting injured, and he was looking for him, and he was in the training room. And I said, oh, I think I made that next 4 or 5 plays. I was in the backfield, 4 or 5 plays. They said, and then the coordinator was like, I mean, we can't, it's undeniable. And then the first game we played, I ended up, you know, my mom and dad was late to the game, and everybody didn't know I was good. I didn't start playing both ways until like 2 days before the season. My dad got a flat tire, and he got a flat tire, and he came in the stands. He always tells the story, and everybody was there with my 71 jerseys on. They told me before the game, if you don't do that in the first game, we ain't never coming back, because we think we ain't coming back. Bro, I only feel you good. And they showed up late, and somebody said, hey, is that 71 kid your son? Man, he got like 3 sacks and 2 tackles in the backfield. Yeah. He like, yo, he it. And then the next day, I was on the front page of the paper, and making a play. And then after that, it was just over. I think it was up from there. I got my first scholarship offer. I remember it's from Miami of Ohio. And I remember just being emotional because I always asked my mom how we was going to college. And she said, you were going to get a scholarship. And she was like, is it going to be academic or it's going to be football? And so for that point, I knew I was cool because I got a scholarship, and it was, you know, the offer. So it was a tremendous feeling. That's just kind of the short, abbreviated version.
When you think about everything you went through to get to that moment, have you ever felt like you've had to break through in your current career?
Man, I feel like I still ain't even broke through yet.
Ooh.
I feel like I remember, I'll tell this story. I remember going through a divorce at the time.
Okay.
And I remember going through the divorce, and I remember me working in 92 through the fan. And all I ever wanted to do was to be on the radio. I had a full-time job in corporate America. I was grinding. I would take every shift. I was working the show called The Barbershop on 92 through the fan. Okay. And I remember at a point, you know, applying for jobs, and whether it's ESPN Cleveland and I interned there for a year, and you know, didn't get the job. Then I worked for, you know, 92 through the fan. I still do shows on there sometimes, But I remember applying for full-time roles and not getting it, or asking for podcasts and not getting it. And I remember as I went through my divorce, I remember sitting in the car, and I remember kind of not processing it all. I had moved out. It's a tough thing to lose half of everything, right? You lose half of everything. I moved from my house. I lost my house. I moved there. I moved to an apartment, like low-key in the hood, in 1 bedroom. And I remember being there. I packed up all my little stuff. Only thing I wanted really out of the deal was my camera and my desk. She even fought me for the desk. So I said, you know what? I basically started over, but it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because what God did is he stripped everything away. He took it all the way back to the essence. And without me going through that, I would have never looked up and said where I was supposed to be doing. And I remember sitting down in the sitting down in the car, and I remember it was raining super hard as I was going to my little apartment or whatever. And it was crazy because I had drove by my old house.
Okay.
Like I was so in like a fog, like it didn't register that that's not your house. You live over here. And I drove by, and I think the gravity of everything hit at once. And I remember sitting in the car breaking down, and I felt the burden, because I said, you know, God, you've given me a great education. I graduated with 2 degrees from Ohio University. I went to Ohio Media School, and I said, I'm working. I ain't doing, like, I ain't in the street. I wanted to save my marriage. I said, listen, I didn't file for it, right? I did everything you told me to do. What's going on? I just broke down because I was working so hard, and I was going so hard, and nothing wasn't transpiring. You know what he told me?
What's that?
He said, you was working, but you didn't acknowledge me.
Ooh.
You didn't ask me where you should be at. See, if you ask me where you be at, you'll leave a lot of that burden stuff alone. What you grieving is you grieving the fact that you want control over everything. It ain't in your hands. And when I started really letting go and letting God, move my steps, not even just like the regular stuff. It's the stuff that you don't want him to touch. Right. The stuff that inside of you that I'm a Scorpio at heart. I'm competitive. It's the things in your, it's the holding grudges. It's the I want to be where they at. I want this. I want that. It's all those things. He got to work with you. And when I lined up, you know what started to happen?
What's that?
It started coming like that. It started everything lined up. I didn't even worry about it. I went on a run. I said, man, listen, everything he told me, he said, you're going to do lives. You're going to get a logo. You about to market this. Man, I tell you what, when I decided, I said, God, if you give it to me, I'll follow you. And he told me, as long as you listen to exactly what I tell you to do, you ain't gonna miss. And to this day, no lie, you ask anybody about it. When I get ready to do a show, sometimes I won't even have nothing for the show 20 minutes before. Nothing. And it just come to me because I know I'm lined up in the right spot. So to this day, I still feel like I ain't got everywhere where I need to be, but that's okay. Because him closing them doors opened up my avenue right now where I'm at to talk to you and to talk to these people in Cleveland and to be right there. And it is a testament to what he's saying, because there is no reason in the world why Coach Prime would even talk to me, why he would even reach out. And he's a man who listens. See, God speak to everybody, right? That's the connection. The connection was, let me watch. Go talk to my servant over there. Go talk to my person over here. And so that's why when you being obedient, that's how we link. That's how everybody link. And I think that's the vein that we in right now.
Man, that you dropped so much right there. I don't even know where to start. But I got to start here. So when maybe about the second or third time, one of the few times I went to go visit Coach Prime, and I talked about this in the interview a little bit, but I'm out there, and the first guy who ever gave me like a real start in sports was there with him, Mel Bratton.
Mm-hmm.
And so I walk in, see Mel B. Mel B is like, man, I raised that young woo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Prime looking like, and so they get to talking about they old college days. And for those that don't know, Mel Bratton was that dude at the University of Miami, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before,
Yeah.
if you haven't, go watch
do your
Miami
homework.
30,
Do your
30.
research.
Do your research. Mel B
Right.
was that guy. So we having this whole conversation, and Coach Prime literally brings the conversation back to everything starts over there. And in the corner, it's this thing that looks like a shower. He said, no. I'm like, okay. He said, no, that's a prayer closet. And he brought, and that's where he says he goes every morning, 5 o'clock, whatever time. He said he beats everybody to the building and he goes there. That's where he starts his day. Do you have a place, or do you have a time, or do you have any type of structured setting where you get your downloads, or are you from God, or are you more so like a, let me just wait, get quiet in my head, and then I get my download?
Well, no, as God has moved me, everything with God is a relationship, right?
Right.
Because when you start to talk to him and he give you stuff, you become more vulnerable, and you become a person who you now start to not look at it as a deity. You look at it as the relationship.
Right.
And the thing that he told me, and the thing that I started to grow on, is nothing you got comes from anybody else but me. That's nothing. Nothing. He said nothing. So, and that goes to the media and what I'm in, right? So, you know, when you go to, and Book talks about this with Shedeur, how sometimes when you go through adversity and you got people that you're working with or people around you, everybody don't believe in the same thing you do. Everybody don't move the same way you do. So sometimes you can feel energy. That energy will rub off on you. And I remember at some points in last year, you know, because of what we are in the platform, you say, well, you know, man, you be putting on for the city. Sometimes I feel like, you know, you is the only one. And sometimes you're going to be the only one that's carrying or standing on certain principles. And sometimes that can become deep and heavy. And you go inside yourself and you start to think that your strength is coming from your toughness or your mental capacity or how smart you are, how hard working. Man, let me tell you something, man. If you ain't tapped into the source, you ain't got nothing. So what I had to start understanding was, before your day start, you want to pick this up right now. And you know what this is, right? This is a beacon of negativity, sadness, happiness, sorrow, financial ruin, everything. Before you see it, you already scrolling. Your notifications is on. Before you even get out in the world and got to go about your business of the day, you done know 5 people died. 4 people on Facebook got shot. 3 people on Instagram walking around with no clothes on. It's all of this stuff that's bombarding you right now. And I had to learn that half of the reason I was walking around during the day and feeling drained, tired, and at a place was my day already started off bad.
Wow.
Because you let that affect you. It's just like football. It's like if it's 1st and 10 and you getting false starts and penalties, and it's hard in 1st and 20. You know how hard it is to come out in the NFL and to get 1st and 10 is hard. But if you putting yourself back in 1st and 20, you're in trouble. So I realized that what I was doing before I even woke up, and Coach Prime, this is smart. He said, before you even get there, you got to put the armor on so you can play defense. So you're like, nah, I already know that was coming today, block. I already know that was coming. We ain't going to have no false starts. We not going to have no pre-snap penalties. Well, it's hard enough to convert in life right now. But what we not going to do is come into the game and hurt ourselves. So I had to learn early in the morning when I'm on my drive and my ride, and I'm getting ready to go on the show, and I got podcasts to do. The first thing I got to do is I used to come out listening to all kind of music. Now I got to come out listening to that encouragement, that uplifting, that it's gonna be tough today, but you gonna make it because I told you I ain't never left you. So for me, those are the things that I find myself doing more, and it's made me a better partner. It's made me a better son, a better broadcaster, a better friend because now I'm tapped into what the truth is, and I'm tapped in that all right, now I know what I need to be doing, and I got the purpose that I need.
That's amazing. When just hearing that part of how you start your day, knowing that and bringing it back to what Coach Prime said, you got to put the armor on to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's coming. Now, we're two people that we got a lot of similarities, but one thing that we do have in common is there are a lot of people in our space that haven't went and played it on the corporate level, but we played the game on the corporate level. What was it like when you realized that playing on the corporate level was a little bit different than what you were used to?
Man, it's so crazy. And I pray sometimes in a moment you pray that you want things to stop. You don't want to go through. Nobody likes turmoil or strife. Nobody wants to see that the way the world really is, because it's with much knowledge comes sorrow, because you understand, like, dang, man, like this, it's like that. And to realize that what the ceiling is in corporate America, to understand the unwritten things, to understand, and I talk about it, to understand the passive aggressive nature, and let's have a meeting, and then they want to send you a document where, hey, this is a guided conversation, just so you know this ain't a write-up, but it is a write-up because it's a paper trail. Oh yeah, you're responsible for revenue, and you're like, hold on, so you're gonna try to write me up for somebody else not coming to work?
Right.
So okay, well, let me get rid of the person. No, HR, no, we can't, have that, because then, but how you hold me accountable, but you won't let me hold? It's a crazy game that they play. And so for me, I didn't understand it until I got to where I am today.
Okay.
Because me going through that on that level makes me understand it on a different level than most people in regular entertainment business. See, when you dealing with, I worked with insurance companies and government policies. I went viral for talking about disability policies with Damar Hamlin, and how, these dudes ain't getting no money. These dudes come out here, they got to be vested. They might not get pensions. I said, the dude died on the field. We talk about all that. It went viral. And people thought it was crazy, but it only really hit because I knew what I was talking about. See, in my old job, we submitted disability contracts for every major insurance carrier in the country. So it's more expensive to keep people it's more expensive to keep them on a health plan. So they realized, what we might want to do? We might want to flip them to disability. And it became one. We were the biggest contracted companies in the country doing it. And so for me, I kind of already knew that. But as I was talking about the Damar Hamlin situation, it was crazy because I learned how corporate America works. So once that happened, you best believe I got conversations from the Players Association. It got that deep. I got people telling, hey man, who is this kid talking this stuff? He talking about the concussions. He talking about CTE. He talking about how we fighting people can get money. I said, y'all done already signed the deal. They say you got the fund for CTE, but you telling me we talked about racial norming, the cognitive abilities, and all of a sudden it was like, yo, you got people reaching out in back channels from the Players Association, like, listen, hey man, somebody need to who with homie over here. Right. And the crazy part about it was I was an independent dude. And because I wasn't working for an outlet, it wasn't really nothing who was he with? They like, he's an independent contractor. And those are type of conversations that help me navigate the world, because if you can handle corporate America and in bureaucracy with that, this is child's play, because I already know what's coming. I'd already been at the highest level, and I was in middle management. So they was giving me the directives to do some of this stuff. So I been knew what the game was. And if it wasn't for that experience, I don't think I would be able to consciously work in the space, because there's a lot of microaggressions that happen. There's a lot of things that happen where you got to look. and you understand what somebody's saying, but you got to also articulate your way, your words in a way and move in a certain way that you don't get labeled somebody that's just being disgruntled, or everything is about the race thing. You got to learn to move in a way where it's like, well, I ain't got to tell you that to tell you that.
Man, it don't take all of that for me to express myself in a way where, man, that's so important, because there have been so many times where you could say certain things that'll get you labeled. And if you aren't careful, or if you aren't already ready or prepared for it, then you can be one of those people that'll hit you like a tidal wave.
It'll hit you because you don't understand. See, I always, and this is what I always prayed for, because, when you're in entertainment and you're the only one, it's hard. Who do you talk to? Like if my mom and dad my dad worked in social work. My mom has worked in other companies in HR and at colleges and different things like that. It's like, if you in the entertainment business and it's only a couple of y'all, right, every one of y'all is at a level where you ain't the big dogs, you ain't the players, you just in the game. You lucky to have a show, or you lucky to have a platform, and you working full-time jobs, and you more famous than rich. And my thing is, how do you get and carve out a living in a space where nobody in your background has done it, nobody that that looks like you has done it, and nobody that's hiring you looks like you? So what do you do? So my thing was to me, you have to, it's on the job training. I've been doing this thing. I've been doing the barbershop stuff since 2014, but I went to broadcasting school when I was in 2010. I played 3 sports in high school. I made all Ohio. I got a full scholarship. I graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees. Then I went back to broadcasting school, right? So sometimes when you get to a point and you're working, now I got my independent stuff. Now I'm doing things. I got my own radio show on Saturday. I took that one day of radio and made it, according to Cleveland Scene Magazine, one of the top 5 best radio shows off one day. I was in Cleveland Scene Magazine 2022, one of some of the most not famous, but interesting people, right? So all of those things happen. But you know what was crazy?
What's that?
It's like, okay, so you got all them credentials. So if I could talk about the game, I interned for a year. I got bachelor's degrees. I even went back to broadcasting school. I got a show. So my process was, how is it that you're more qualified to talk about something that I didn't live? Not only did I live, I breathe it. I'm continuing in it. How is it that your voice is elevated higher and there's a ceiling here for what I'm trying to do based on what? And that based on what can either turn you into looking to be innovative, or it can turn you bitter. Shout out to BSK Kendall Lewis. I remember him. Shout out to him. Big Sports Kahuna. He was one of the first pioneers. Him and Ronnie Duncan was the first 2 Black people in the city of Cleveland that was really doing shows. And Kendall Lewis had a stroke. And Kendall, lucky for me, I listened to him all the time, me and my dad. And one of my first jobs was being, I answered telephones.
Wow.
And he said, nah, I want him to be on my show. And he gave me an opportunity. And I remember the one day the program director was like, why are you letting him talk? And BSK said, hey, listen, this is my show. Whoever come on here talking, that's up to me. You know what I'm saying? He know what he's talking about. And I remember him. He took time. And I remember he used to say, they say, G. Bush, where you get your style from? I always give him credit for it. He used to call me because he had a stroke. He used to call me and listen to me do shows for like a half hour. Okay. So he would tell me, I want you to do a show on this. He would listen to me half hour on the phone. And then after about a half hour, 40 minutes, he said, okay, cool. What I like about that, I like your intro. I like your open. And he basically taught me the art of how to tell a story. And he would interrupt and give me little feedback and different things like that. And he said, one thing you got to watch, don't get bitter. He said, because if you master what who you are, I'm going to tell you, if you master it, ain't nothing nobody can do with you. Because when you master that, you got the knowledge, you got the passion, you got the expertise for it, you in the industry. All you got to do is hone your skills and develop you. And no sooner than he said that, I remember getting my first opportunity. I went to the program director, said, I don't want to answer no phones. I ain't working the board. Do not call me unless you got an opportunity for me to do shows. And he said, okay, well, we might not have none in a while. It took like 4 months. He didn't call me. He called me one day in December. I remember it's like December 17th. He said, I got 30 minutes for you to do your first show. And ironically, BSK had passed away.
Oh, man.
He passed away a couple years, or not a couple years, a couple months prior to that. Okay. And I just remember, just being emotional about it because I felt it came full circle. And I remember doing that show and the training came in, like it just came, it flowed. And I always thank him for that. And I always give him his credit for that because, people say I remind me of each other. Well, that's because he gave me the blueprint. And so I always keep his memory alive. And he was one of the best to do it from my perspective.
How important is the passing along of that blueprint, especially for people like you and me who've done both, but we understand that the independent circuit is so important for us because our voices are limited. How important is the passing of that blueprint?
And that blueprint, and it starts with the elders. It starts with, people like Coach Prime. I mean, he passed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. We are direct descendants of him passing that torch. And he's so strategic, and he's been in business so long, and he's been in the media for so many years. People forget. Before he was doing all this, he was at Fox for 20 years. He was doing that stuff at the NFL Network. He was one of the people who helped the Combine become what the Combine was.
Right.
Him at the Combine with Rich Eisen made that what it is today. And how ironic and crazy it is that come full circle, the guy who helped build the Combine was the main tool used to destroy his character. I thought that was crazy. The dude who was known for the fastest Combine time, the dude that does all the commercials at the Combine, the guy that was the first player talking to the players, right? Y'all wasn't getting interviews like that before. Like, this is Prime, bro. Now you're going to use that same tactic against him. Like, oh, we built you up. We'll tear you down. I thought that was so crazy. And to me, he gave the opportunity to independent guys like us because what he did, he understand business. Think about it. He came to Cleveland, and I understand how people may feel about it. He declined to do interviews, right?
Right.
So think about this. If they want to reference his interview, the thing that they're going to reference is either my last interview or your last interview.
Ooh.
And then they got to credit you for it. Then they got to put, if it's NBC, if it's CBS, if it's Fox or ESPN, they got to credit you. And I don't look past it because I understand business. That's where I come from. And sometimes people can help you and you don't even know it. They didn't it ain't about the money it came with it. It's about passing the torch and establishing credibility. And the thing that is beautiful is there ain't nobody in the world that can say, oh, your platform ain't good enough for me. Because guess what? If Coach Prime did the interview,
okay,
then who, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he did an interview, how much bigger is you than, like, no, you can't say that. And think about it. If he gave us independent dudes the interview, that means every independent outlet got the interview. Because guess what? because I'm going to turn around and come on your platform. And I'm going to come on that platform. I don't care how many people you got. You know what I'm saying? We going to come in and guess what? That builds all rising tides, raise all boats. So it's important. It's vital because at the end of the day, I am blessed. Thank God for Technic and WKYC. Thank God. And I always say this. Thank God for the people, the Andy Ross, they gave me an opportunity when he said, can you run a board? And I lied to him saying, I said, yeah, I know how to run a board. I said, I ain't about to turn this down. Thank goodness for Steve Becker, who hired me. I was one of the first people on UCSS, and he found me because I was doing a Cavs post-game show by myself. And somebody said, go look at this G. Bush kid that's talking 2 hours with graphics and all this other stuff. He called me. And I was the second person that got hired on that show besides Jay Crawford. And he was on ESPN. So I give them all thank you so much. I will never say a bad word about none of them because at the end of the day, they gave me an opportunity. But for me, we have to also understand that in this business, we learned a tough thing from Ryan Clark. We learned a tough thing from Ryan Clark. We learned a tough thing from Gilbert Arenas, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We keep learning. We learning some things. We learned from the Pivot podcast. We learned from Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
We learned from Joe Button, Rory and Mal, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
We learned about business. We learned about arguments. We learned about what can happen and what can't. This is part of our culture. Shout out to Math Hoffa. We didn't learn bag fuel. We learned these things. You must have your business in order. And two, you must always think, if tomorrow comes, what else do I have?
What else do I have?
Tomorrow we could wake up and be out of here. They might say tomorrow ain't no UCSS, ain't no nothing. Ain't no radio stations. They might fold it up and say, we're going to turn this to HGTV. I don't know. So what are you building for yourself? If you do 8 hours of work at your job, you owe it to yourself to at least do 4 for yourself. So if you devoting 8, you better devote 4 to something else you can do because that 4 might be the reason you can sustain yourself in famine times.
I want to touch on this Ryan Clark thing you just brought up because as somebody who got that call from a major and they said, hey, we good. Thank you for your service, but we good on you for next year. We're not renewing your contract. For someone who got that call, his tears meant something to me. What did his tears mean to you?
I think those tears to me were he had an inkling that the world was like that.
Okay.
But everybody get their welcome to America card. Everybody get it in this game. And when he said, I thought that I could ask enough questions. I thought if I acted a certain way, I thought if I did certain things or had the meetings and maybe I had somebody in my corner, maybe it would have been different. And that was his welcome to America. And a lot of times in that level, when he said this, it hit different. He said, but I was really good at this. And I thought that like I was so good at what I was doing that it would save me. And let me tell you something. It didn't save none of us. It didn't save Shedeur Sanders.
Hello.
Didn't save Colin Kaepernick. Didn't save Ryan Clark. I'm trying to find who did it save? I'm trying to figure out who escaped. Who escaped it? Who skated and wasn't faced with the reality of when you are in America, you got to understand that there is a certain way, shape, and form that they expect you to adhere to. And if you do not adhere to that, then at any given second, that machete can come, right? Yeah. And the tears that hit him was, he said, I'm upset because I fooled myself into thinking that it wasn't coming for me. And
Right.
that's what hurt, because he had to look at his peoples and say, I wasn't all the way at 1,000. There were some topics I didn't want to touch after a certain point in time. There were certain things I just didn't want to say, because I feel like if I just stayed quiet, if I just played nice, if I stayed in the corner and did what I needed to do, everything will be all right. Well, listen, no, I'm just glad I got mine earlier. And I thank God for that, because he gave me my reality check very early, because it was tough early. Like, wait, hey, I'd rather take the lesson early and know when nobody gave me nothing than to take it later when you got a mortgage, a family, you taking care of 7, 8, 9, 10 people. That's why when Coach Prime was like, bro, I can't believe, he like, bro, think about this. He had people that was in his circle. That Rex Ryan stuff is wild to me. Rex, you was in front of this man's team. He brought you in to talk to his he thinks of them like his kids. Like, think about this.
Okay.
When you look at somebody as your kids, the first thing we know about people is you don't bring anybody around your kids. They don't play about that.
Right.
We don't play, don't be having no strange people, no strangers, no none of that. He feel like, bro, we see it. I brought you around my people. How many times I done told you about my family and brought you around, and you around here tweeting and doing all that? Just goes to show you. And it's more hurtful because you thought she was better than that. But then, God always lets us see a lot of different things. It's just, it's for us to understand and how to move forward with it.
I think the moving forward part is to touch on something that you talked about earlier. When you said you could either, and I want to paraphrase here, you could either let it control you or hurt you, or you could be innovative. You could be bitter, or you could be innovative. How did you begin to innovate the barbershop to get it to where it started to its current iteration of where it is now? Because right now it's a beacon of light. It's been a beacon of light to me. It's been a beacon of light to Big Snacks. There's so many people that I could talk about that see your show as a beacon of light. And the reason it's a beacon of light is the darkness that and I'm not, no pun intended, but you know what, double entendre there. But the darkness that guys like us come from when we talk about the fairness, and I'm not, and I want to make sure I'm clear on this. We all have 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
How we choose to use our 24 hours are up to us. But if my 24 hours and your 24 hours of doing the same job aren't exactly equal based on how, what, and what we look like saying, what we look like when we're saying it, then it's a little difficult at times.
It is.
How did you innovate with all that information? How did you innovate your platform into becoming that beacon of light?
Well, I think, I'll point to other things. Some people, just went. Some people is called. Some people, I don't feel like, to me, there's certain things in your life that you could just sign up for. It's a calling. And I always tell people that I can't tell you what the secret sauce of the barbershop is, because what the barbershop is a direct representation of what God tells me to try to do and explain on a daily basis. And so when you walk in what your purpose is, or you find your purpose, it's funny how things will open up for you. I remember telling people before, I remember saying, I do UCSS, I do all these other platforms, Bleacher Report. I told a lot of people, I said, it's a shelf life on a lot of that stuff, because for me, there's things that I have to talk about that may not necessarily agree with what that is. And that's fine. I believe there should be a separation of church and state, or separation. But I remember when God told me, like, yo, this is what you're supposed to be moving to. And it could be kind of scary, because you got to think about some of the stuff I talk about. Sometimes I question him, like, what you mean say that? I remember one time, I remember my first show on 92.3 The Fan. Now, mind you, I was on this was radio airwaves. I remember the first topic I did prior to my second show was, the NCAA isn't slavery, but sure as heck is sharecropping. They was like, whoa. Mind you, this is when Reggie Bush was getting tattoos and all kind of stuff. And they were suspending people, and they was your scholarship is 1 year renewables, and you get tuition ruin. But hey, you got too much or something, $50. Now you see what happened. I was doing shows about this when it wasn't even cool to do no shows like that. I remember my third show. My third show was about. I told them they was talking about the situation with Kaepernick. Right. And to this day, this is when people was telling people that it was cool to tell people to shut up and dribble. And that was a thing back in the day. Like, before you got checked on that was a thing. I told them on my third show, I said, listen, until we in the Southeastern Conference, SEC, until they stop waving them doggone Confederate flags at state capitals, you don't tell me about kneeling for nothing with nobody. I said, because you waved that flag right next to the other flag.
Right.
How?
How?
Do you know people died fighting against that? But you tell, that's about Southern pride. No, sir. Until you guys figure that out, I don't think you want to talk about what's disrespectful to flags. That was on air. They said, oh, goodness. My program director called me and said, oh, do you know how many people, blah, blah, blah. And you know what happened? That very same day, the same day, I said, dang, I done messed up this time. Should I have said that? He texted me back again. He said, the United States just banned the use of Confederate flags on bases and other places. And this is right after I said what I said. And he said, it looks like what you said was on time. And I said, you know what? From that point on, sometimes I told myself, this barbershop logo means sometimes you got to sit in uncomfortable conversations.
Ooh.
This is an uncomfortable conversation. And it's even uncomfortable for me at times. Because even when it's processing in real time, the clock is ticking. I'm like, should I say that? Should I say that? Should I say that? He said, like, I told you what you, and then I said, you know what? If I'm obedient, I can sleep easy at night.
Ooh.
I'll just let it go. I'll let the chips fly where they may. And at this point, it ain't failed me. He ain't never failed me. I ain't never said nothing crazy. It may be controversial, but it always came back to say, you know what? He got a point. And that to me is where the barbershop is, because that's the light that people is attracted to, because you can say you don't agree with it, but you can't say I lied.
Oh man. You can say you don't agree with it, but you can't say I lied. I want to touch on that. So last year, Shedeur Sanders is drafted to the Cleveland Browns after a slide. And there's a bunch of opinions on where he should have went in the draft, especially hindsight being 2020. Because I don't think of any of the people that say, oh, he was a 5th round pick, or that he was drafted where he should have been. I don't think any of those people would have given me that bet before the draft. But with the benefit of hindsight, now it's this, that, and that. You knew from day one kind of what the deal was. As a football guy, you covered the draft for many years. What was your initial thought when you saw Cleveland's name and Shedeur Sanders tied together in the NFL draft in 2025?
Man, I was ecstatic, because I knew what they was getting as a quarterback, as a person, as a leader. I was excited because I've watched this. See, this is the thing. I really, we ain't no Johnny come lately. I've watched him when Coach Prime was coaching him in Texas. I watched in high school. I watched at Jackson State. My dad went to HBCU. We watched every Jackson State game. I knew what the momentum was and what he could bring to the table because Colorado was a phenomenon. Here's the problem that people had. There's a point in time where if you look in history, Coach Prime ain't never had nothing bad about him said about nothing. Coach Prime has been beloved by multiple people. Where it changed was in people's mind was when he started doing things outside of quote unquote the boundaries of what the establishment was. So when he went out to Colorado and the way he changed, it was almost crazy because they tried to use him as the face of like, oh, you're the face of NIL and guys that are just getting paid for play. And, you know, are we going to use the Louis luggage conversation outside of context? But what the phenomenon was, all across the country, Colorado was must-see TV. Must-see. They said, oh, my goodness, they got Travis Hunter, the number one player in the country. He went to an HBCU. Right. Shedeur Sanders, HBCU. You getting people, when he said, hey, I ain't hard to find, call me. They said, whoa, what you mean he ain't hard to, I don't know about this. Like you,
right.
We got the way these rules set up, cats decommitting to Florida State. Shiloh was already at South Carolina. They decommit, they going, listen, he bringing in, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, I don't know. Then they went out and beat TCU. And then all bets was off because he took guys that was from HBCUs, went on the road against a team that was just in the national championship.
Yes.
And then when they started moving them goalposts, I said, hold on, we got something at work here. The post is moving. I said, what you meaning to tell me this is a Power 5 school? TCU just was in the national champ. No, they had a bunch of guys transfer. That wasn't it. And then Shedeur come out and throw for five. Travis Hunter jumping routes. Like they got these dudes out here. Look, it was box office. The Baylor game, all this stuff started happening. And then you start to see the tide switching. And you start to, all the people that love Shedeur and his accuracy, oh, no, it really wasn't like that. And when he slid, everybody had a collective. In our community, everybody was like, again, we talk about the Ryan Clark thing. Collectively, we got shown this is what the game is. And it was crazy. Because there are all kind of people that may have checkered past and histories that can get some certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But think about this. He didn't do nothing. He was going to schools. He's a graduate. He come from a powerful, intelligent family. He does stuff for charity. He ain't never been in no trouble. And think about this. They still to this day did articles over a guy that was caught gambling on his team. And we had people in the city lobby for him for weeks. But I think it's funny that you lobby for him, but let him get a ticket. Let him say something. Let him look a certain way. I just think he needs to be humble. And at that point, here's where everybody decided. Here's what people decided. We don't care what you think. Ooh. It's been done too often. It's been done too long. And regular people don't get the chance to put the scarlet letter on our best. You're not going to do that to the best that we offer in our community. You're not going to do it You're not going to continuously put these scarlet letters on this is the people that represent our community at the highest levels. And you regular people who ain't achieved half of none of what they've done, put the work in, are going to have a comment on it and you get a say so? Absolutely not.
No.
And that's where the CU aunties come from. That's where the Kool-Aid Mafia comes from. That's where the barbershop comes. Absolutely not. We're not going to do that now. We're just not going to do it. And so that's where that comes from.
Boy, let me tell you something. First of all, if you're watching this and you don't want to support independent media, then you just crazy. This man is cooking right now. You hear me? I got chills, dog. I'm sitting back listening. This ain't look, the interview questions is gone. Now I just want to know. I just want to know. This is me talking. So
that's the best conversations, right?
Right. The interview questions out the window, because what you just said, I always my analogy was it was like a public buck breaking. It was something to show us that, hey, listen, you're going to do it this way or else, buddy. And now I want to call it, the job's not done by any means. The job's not finished, right? But what I do see is that this year looks a whole lot different than last year. You've covered this. You've covered Shedeur and Cleveland, the quarterback situation. I think you've done the best job of anybody I've seen. What do you see differently from last year to this year?
Well, first of all, I think the organization is different.
Okay.
Frankly, the head coach, let's be honest with you. Kevin Stefanski was never a Shedeur Sanders fan. Okay. At the end of the day, let's just be clear with it. And let's start by saying this. As a head coaches are going to have people they have an affinity to. That's not egregious or sinful or a bad thing anyway. Like in a vacuum, everybody got a preference of what they're looking for. Right. And the thing that really is different this year is Shedeur actually got somebody who gave him an opportunity. Like the thing Coach Prime always says is, G. Bush, he gonna just say what it is. We never asked for anything. All we wanted is the opportunity. And last year they lied to people and said it was going to be a open competition. And then they had him throwing. Like, think about how this is crazy. I went to practice and I could not believe what I was seeing. They had him throwing to like the like, you know how they got the trainers and it's the assistant trainers. Yep. And then they got the like people that set up the cones and the drills. Right. They had 2-3 fields. The 1s, 2s, and 3s down here. And then the middle field. And then he was on the far field like it was intramurals. And I said, I was immediately hot because I said, they trying to treat him like this some sort of, and then they had the nerve to when you called it out. Oh, well, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? I mean, it's not giving any. I said, this is crazy work. I couldn't believe it. Right. But the funny thing about God is he kind of moves people he got a funny way of moving. And well, Kenny Pickett pulled his hamstring, ended up never playing. He went to the Raiders. He was the answer. Funny thing is they put Flacco in. They don't talk about how Flacco had two touchdowns and 6 picks and got pulled, right? Right. They traded him in the division. And by the way, maybe it says something about your coach, because Joe Flacco, the same one that looked terrible the first 4 games against the Browns, went to the Bengals and threw for 500 on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, he did.
With no practice. With 0 practice, just showed up and threw. Then you had Dylan Gabriel in. And the problem with the thing is, too, with Dylan Gabriel, we talked about it on the show today. I've got a problem with Dylan Gabriel. He's never been the same caliber quarterback as Shedeur Sanders, period, point blank, at all. Right. No evaluation has ever had him anywhere. They used his 3rd round pick on him. I'm not hating on it, but I thought it was funny. I said, I feel worse for Dillon Gabriel because when Shedeur Sanders got in the game and it showed that he could play at a certain level, you turned on Dillon Gabriel. See, I learned something about corporate America. You could get used up too, because before you were the supercomputer. Right. Before you were the smartest person in the world and you're fast and everybody, and Dillon Gabriel, don't count him out, don't count him out, don't count him out. And then the second he wasn't able to be used into your game that made it look like Shedeur was like some fool and didn't know how to play. Right. Then you said they need to get rid of him too. He needs to be traded. I think it's ironic that Shedeur is playing well in camp and his name is brought up again.
That's crazy.
So as we talk about it all the time, the different part about it is this year, Coach Todd Monken actually, the first day he got into camp, he said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, on camera, you know we tried to draft you. You know we tried to draft you, right? You know what that was for, right? That was a get off my lawn. That was, let me just know what I know what y'all was doing. Because the 5th round conversation was everybody's talking point. None of the other teams want him. No other teams wanted to get him. No other teams were interested. They wanted to run away from this circus and charade. And then Todd Monken comes in and says, you know we tried to draft you. And guess what?
Right.
Everybody quiet now because it debunks you in real time. So he has somebody that believes in him. He has somebody that's going to give him an opportunity, and he already done been through the fire. Kind of reminds me of your and my story. Right. He's already come to the realization everybody ain't going to rock with you. And once you find out everybody ain't rocking with you, and you can, what you do, we say it about it, you can either get bitter or you can get innovative. He done got innovative. He done changed. He done changed what he doing. He done cut off certain communications. He done, hey, listen, I ain't doing this. I'm only moving this way. I'm centered. I'm ready to go in what I'm doing. And I'm just going to pay attention to what God got telling me to do. And he told me if I do it, I'll be all right. That's what we talking about. And he found out just like we all finding out. Don't get, just get motivated, get innovative, man.
T-shirt that. We T-shirt that one, dog. Man. So when we talk about the motivation that Shedeur had, and everyone the naysayers, the people who have been, and one of the things I always say on my show is when I see people say crazy stuff, especially who got Coach Prime number, I'm like, bro, why you don't just call him? I know you got his number. Why are we doing all these speculations? And then we realize it's for the clicks. Shedeur said he's the algorithm, and he is right. I'm keeping it a buck.
He's dead serious.
He's dead serious. How do you think that realization that he knows that his name drives clicks? He knows that there are going to be people that were once close or may still be close to him, or his family that are going to do things because he is the algorithm. How do you think that has helped him improve his game?
Because I think now he's at a point where he's keeping the main thing. And that, you know, more than anything, Coach Prime always talks about it being like, sometimes he don't understand his influence. Yes. He don't see it. And it's easy not to see it because he lives in a bubble. He lives in a, you know what I'm saying? Like he lives in this thing. I see the way people react to him. And the thing that I keep going back to was sometimes we can be in a media bubble and they'll try to tell you that the only people is rocking with him is the CU aunties. Man, let me tell you something. Man, I'm going to camp. I was with John Fanta. And it's young little white boys and white girls and Hispanic boys and Hispanic girls and all of them. When I go talk to them, they say, G. Bush, we got it up right now. It ain't just us doing it, but the way the media move with it, they do it for clicks. Because here's the thing. You can't do it like we do it, right? So here's the two ways you work in a game. You can either be on the left or on the right, but nobody in the middle gets nothing. If you in the middle, you ain't never going to be polarizing enough to move the needle to even make no income. So if somebody is on the right-hand side and they talking about Shedeur and they breaking it down that way, you can't beat Duke to Scoop. He got prime on. What you talking about? He already got that lane. That lane's done. So what else lane you got? Your lane has to be, well, I got to go to this trolling. I got to go to the clicks. I got to, because anywhere opposite of that, if you land in the middle, either somebody going to call you a person who pandering, or the other side going to call you a hater.
Right.
So you got to choose one. And the thing that he gets is he is the algorithm. See, but how you got to understand. See, that's the great thing about being on the internet. I know how the internet work. I know thumbnails, captions, all that good stuff. I know how it's going to work.
Right.
So what I told him, I put a clip up of Shedeur Sanders when he was going to the CU Aunties. He made it. He saw him over there, came and took the picture. I did it, right? Think about this. And they think they slick. I tell them like this. I don't never have to have no Shedeur Sanders interview, ever. He don't never in his life have to even say the word G. Bush. You know why? Because I look at myself as a big brother when it comes to like doing stuff in the community. And my thing is, you know what? I wouldn't even at the position he is in right now where he need to be concentrating on football. I wouldn't even have him really be on my platform. You know why? Because you become a target. See, if you do an interview with G. Bush, then it's, G. Bush is in the bag. We know why he's saying that. They'd come up with all kind of things. Let them tell it. You and me, we already on the well-off media payroll. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't even distract you like that. You know what I would tell you?
What's that?
Hey, man, keep the main thing the main thing. You know how to keep these haters off you? Go out there and keep slinging that football. Go out there and continue to be a leader. Go out there and let Todd Monken know that you a franchise caliber quarterback and you need to dial in, block out the noise. And then when you become a franchise quarterback, it's easier to move. But sometimes people think that it's always it might sometimes be easier to watch a person without directly looking at them. If you
one more time, G. Bush, one more time.
Sometimes the best way to watch a person is not by directly looking at them. Because if you're looking at them, then guess what? That bring attention and they're going to play the role, right?
Right.
Sometimes you got to look it off and say, okay, I ain't going to pay you no attention. Hey, Coach Prime said it all the time. I watched him for a year. He said, bro, he called me. I talked to him. He said, I watched you for a year. And you know why? When you at that level, you got to watch. Because there's a lot of people out here that want to capitalize off stuff, right?
Right.
A lot of people want to move and, we're going to do. Nah, bro. I'd say it today. I'd be great. Listen, one day it'd be awesome to interview him. But that ain't the main thing right now. Right now, the main thing is we talking about what we need to get done for this 2026 season and getting the Cleveland Browns where they need to go. And as a dude in the media that's been here and understand that, it'd be stupid for me to even do, because I already know what the rest of them going to say and look. It caused more heat than anything.
Man, I never thought about it that way, but you're completely right. And for someone who's had boots on the ground at camp, I think we understand the social consequences that come along with being a Shedeur Sanders from the outside looking in and knowing, where the stock that he comes from and what he's been taught. Now, you have a unique perspective as someone in the media who has a self-made man who has also done the corporate thing, but also you've played at a very high level, right? What do you see in Shedeur physically this year? What do you see in his actual game that you didn't see last year? Where has Shedeur improved on the field in your eyes?
I love this. It's a great interview question. See, it's balance. You're offering. See, oh my goodness, G. Bush was on there just being emotional. You got to get to the meat and potatoes too. So I'm glad you took it to the football field, because at the end of the day, I think anything that happens on the football field is sacred. It don't matter what your religion is. It don't matter what your race, creed, color is. It matters what you do between those white lines. And I'm all about knowledge, not narrative. So for me, when I'm looking at with Shedeur Sanders, and it's one of the reasons I said I'm going to make it be a point to go to camp, is because I wanted to see the specifics in the way his game has changed and elevated. The thing that I always say is when people talk about Shedeur Sanders and they say he needs to be better in the pocket, or he needs to command the huddle. A lot of times, a lot of people will say a lot of things and it's flash and buzzwords. See,
Right.
that you can't hide that from me. That's email etiquette. You got to pin them down and say, no. What does that exactly mean, sir? Like when I say, oh, he can't make tight window throws, I say, well, are you serious? Well, let me show you the tight window throw right here on film. Look at his footwork. Look at the progression. Look at him just yesterday on the last play of the game, or last play of practice, to Gage Larverdane. I said he did 6 things that you didn't catch. First of all, he switched the protection and made sure he had time to even get the football off. When they had 7, 8 dudes at the line of scrimmage, and if you remember, against the Baltimore Ravens, the first game he played, the Baltimore Ravens had a field day with loading the line of scrimmage and picking and choosing who's going to come. Kyle Hamilton, whether it's being what's the name, the middle linebacker. When you talk about when you bringing guys at the line of scrimmage and picking which one's going to come, it's difficult to diagnose that very quickly. In the last play of the game, he threw the ball to Gage Larverdane, and he kind of just dropped the ball. It was a back shoulder. The timing was off, and it was turnover on downs. Well, if you look at it, it was the same exact look. But this year, he understood something. Hey, let me give myself a little bit of time. Let me switch the protection. Let me keep my tight end in and make sure we can then diagnose. And then he understands by coverage, they're in press man. If you press man, he's in the slot. Oh, we're going to get a free release on that. He then drops back, throws it, puts a beautiful touch on the football right in the basket to Gage Larverdane, gives an opportunity. And that just shows you the levels of his game. He looks much more polished in the pocket. He looks like in his progressions, he understands where he wants to go. He also in that drive is manipulating the defense, because the thing I love about what he's doing right now is he's giving you, it's like playing basketball. You know, when they got the sweep move, you know, you reverse pivot and they'll sweep up, and all of a sudden they caught your hand in the cookie jar. That's 2 free throws every single time. Any scorer going to tell you what that is. What he's doing in camp is, if your back is turned and you ain't looking at the football, he's going to give these guys an opportunity to go get it. And he did it on the last drive with Wallace. He's done it all week with Denzel Boston. He's done it with Gage Larverdane. He's done it with Casey Concepcion. He understands and is thinking the game a lot more and a lot quicker. And he's also getting to a point where he's understanding his team, the leadership. That last play, watch the team go crazy. It was just friends and family in the stand. It was close to the public. But the way that the people went crazy when he dropped that pass was, oh, we might got us something. We might got something with this one.
Man, I think I want to kind of add on to that point where you talked about his progressions. Last week, I saw something that I hadn't saw that was my first time seeing it out of Shedeur at the pro level. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't done it, but this was my first time seeing it. It looked as if they were running like a drive concept with like a shallow cross and maybe a dig coming behind it. And I believe it was Quinn Williams. It was one of those backers. And he let the shallow crosser go, and the linebacker faked at the shallow crosser, which is he faked. You remember that
play? I know which play you're talking about.
Okay.
And he thought he had him, and he said, dang, I almost had him. I baited him too. Shedeur's like, no, you didn't have me. I knew what you was doing.
Yep. Man, when I saw that one, he baited him. Shedeur looked him off, and he made him think, and Shedeur looked him off to make him think that he was throwing to the dig that was coming behind, and he looked that off to take him off of the ball in the flat. That was 2 things that he did. the progression, the game within the game, the chess match on the drive concept, which is basically like we talked about basketball. That's like you're playing defense on a 2-on-1 fast break.
Yep.
And that defender, a lot of times, they fake the one side, hoping that the guy throws it to the other guy coming down the lane, and you intercept it or you steal the ball there. When he played that game within the game and still took the check down, I said, okay, this is a different. This is Shedeur saying, I've got to move the chains. I don't have to make the big play every time. I don't have to put the team on my back. I can move the chains. I can continue to get positive yardage. And the more important thing to me when I think about quarterbacks and what happens in those meeting rooms is I can speak to my decision. That's when I said, okay, Shedeur, and it's not that he's never done it. That's when I've seen him do it. And I said the other day, I said something's going on with Shedeur. You got anything to add on to that, Coach?
Yeah, I just that is that is a very great observation. And I love what you said about almost like being a point guard. See, the thing about being a franchise quarterback is I think the most important thing about being a franchise quarterback is understanding what a team needs in that direct moment. And so sometimes you may look at a throw, like in a 2-minute drill. I thought he did a good job of pushing the ball downfield. Sometimes people will take the underneath stuff, but that's what they want you to do. In that moment, you have to be the CEO and say, I got to make tough decisions. And the tough decision for this one is I got to push the ball downfield. It dictates it in that moment. Sometimes it's a chess game. Sometimes you can have somebody and you say, nah, I ain't going to throw it there because I'm going to set you up. You did a little, you jumped that way too quick. So I know you've seen something on film. So here we're going to do. We're going to set you up for something. You go back to the sideline. You tell, okay, hey, coach, hey, when we ran that jet motion, that backside defensive end, he wasn't even playing the zone. He was running upfield. Let's run the zone read. I'll give it to the back, and then we run the motion off that. The B gap and C gap going to be wide open because this man is running upfield. And guess what? That's the real-time stuff. Sometimes the real chess game in football is what happens when you get off your scripted plays. Everybody is good in their first 15. You run them all week.
Right.
You've been running them. You rep them all week. But what happens when them 15 scripted plays is off? Now it's about who can improvise, who can come up with adjustments, who understand the game with inside the game. So for Shedeur, the thing is, sometimes the checkout down is the right move. Sometimes it's forcing the ball a little bit is the move. Sometimes it's understanding, hey, I got a damn good defense right now. We cooking. It's bad weather. At the line of scrimmage, it's a 3-step drop. No, let me run this ball over and play I'm a punt, play good defense, right? Sometimes it's knowing all those things, and you can see in each and every, just a little small things about the way he throws the ball differently on a bubble route to Harold Fannin Jr. versus Isaiah Bond and Casey Concepcion.
Okay. They
did a whole 2 or 3 periods about making sure the receivers are blocking and making sure that they get their playmakers with their hands on the football. But the way he would throw it to Harold Fannin Jr., because he's a bigger body receiver, it gives him a little more momentum to work up to it. Sometimes he get it to Isaiah and Casey Concepcion where, hey, I want to give it to you and get it to you as quick as possible so you can make a guy miss and have a move, right? So even the small ways of where people like the football, I'm seeing those things and nuances. It's not about him just he's playing the game as it come to him, and it's not just thinking 1, 2, 3 where I got to go with the ball. It's more natural now, and that just comes from reps. And I think it also comes with, just the coach pouring into him to say, I do think you got the skill set.
What have you seen from the other Cleveland quarterbacks so far in camp?
Well, listen, this is so funny. And I always laugh and joke because I put on Twitter, I said, man, Dylan Gabriel made like eight good throws. And people's like, I can't believe G. Bush said that. And I said, bro, I'm the only person in the Cleveland market that told you all 3 quarterbacks were going to be back on the roster. I'm the only one.
Right.
Like, you all said Ty Simpson was coming to the program, or Malik Willis, or you was getting Garrett Nussmeier or Drew Aller, or you was doing Cade Klubnik, and it was Dante Moore. And then when you couldn't get Mendoza, you got mad because they won 2 games at the end of the year, and you couldn't get a top 5 pick. They just messed. So you said all that. I said, bro, there's no way that Deshaun and Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel are going to be in this quarterback room. They're going to, I said, okay, well, we'll see. I'm just saying, I'm not right about everything, but I think like they still they at practice now. So for me, I was like, listen, I don't need to tear down one person to say why I do or don't like another person. That's the difference between me and you. What Dillon Gabriel does is not an indictment on Shedeur Sanders, because he keep telling you, who's the competition against? It's me. They don't play defense. Deshaun Watson ain't out there playing defensive back when Shedeur throw the ball. It's learning what you can do in the scheme of the offense. So for me, I think Dillon Gabriel, when everything is clean, the pocket is okay, and he has time, and it's a read that he makes, he can be an accurate thrower of the football with some velocity. The problem is Dillon Gabriel has limitations when it comes to seeing in the pocket, his vision. He has problems with the anticipation. He has problems with the accuracy when he has to move outside and throw outside or inside the numbers. He has those limitations, and that's built into his stature. For Deshaun Watson has come back more mobile than I thought he would after 2 Achilles. But the thing that gets you the most is, and this is why I don't get it, and I've been just cool to call it out, just so we understand, Deshaun Watson has not outplayed Shedeur Sanders. Deshaun Watson is not the leader in the camp, nor should he be. It is not because of allegations or what you like or not about Deshaun Watson. It's plain to see. The interceptions that he's throwing are egregious. They're in double coverage. He looks like he's confused on the goal line. The accuracy outside of the pocket when he's pressured is there, and it looks like he has trouble processing the information. So that's not something that I'm just saying. It's on the clips. It's on when you're tracking it and you see it, and he has 6 interceptions. And if you're the veteran, as the veteran, you're supposed to be further along. I'm talking about 10-year vet versus somebody that plays 7 games with no reps prior to that.
Right.
So when the processing on the goal line happens, I expect you to get us in the right play. I expect it to be crisp. It may not be perfect, but the thing I can say is I know he's going to get us in the right situation and make the right read. Where the ball goes from there is up to, I guess, your skill set. But to me, Shedeur Sanders has outplayed both Dillon Gabriel, which is, I mean, that's not even a competition, but he's clearly on just his wild throws has done a better job than Deshaun Watson. And that's a product of injuries. That's a product of not playing for the better part of 2 or 3 years. And it's part of the reason why when people say give him the job, I was like, for what? You got to go prove it. You got to show me. And that's what the pads is for, and that's what practice is for.
We've seen an uptick in production, like we just spoke on, with Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. All right. What is it about Todd Monken's offense? Excuse me. What is it about Monken's offense that has allowed these 2 quarterbacks, or maybe it's the way that he's running training camp, but what is it about Monken that has allowed the development that has taken place with Gabriel and Sanders?
Well, Todd Monken he's been a innovator wherever he's been at. He was running a version of the air raid at Oklahoma State with Brandon Wheaton and Justin Blackman, and they put up numbers. He, when he went to Southern Miss, they didn't win a game. He eventually led them to a 9-5 and a bowl appearance. He won back-to-back national championships at Georgia. They was getting over 500 yards. Look at the tight ends. Look at Washington. Look at Bowers. Look at Delp. Look at, he did it with all types of different quarterbacks. He did it with a guy in the mail, man. Come on, man. They had he's done it with multiple different pieces and parts. And then you look at what he's done with the Baltimore Ravens, and these guys putting up 7,000 yards of total offense. Derrick Henry still able to run the ball. Mark Andrews will be able to be a dynamic tight end. Isaiah Likely using 2 double tight ends. And then obviously Lamar Jackson running. He's done it everywhere he's been at. And a staple of what he's done is not only innovation in a pass game, it's finding matchups, finding specific rubs and formations and being creative, not only in the passing game, but the run game, making teams have to respect what you're bringing to the table. That's why one of my biggest critiques and the problem I got with the Browns right now is the pre-snap penalties. Because if you have pre-snap penalties and you don't have discipline and you don't know where to line up at, the advantage that Todd Monken gives you is nullified. Because part of the advantage is you're going to have to play assignment football, because he's going to run one play and it's going to be the zone play, and it look like and then he's going to run the exact same formation, the exact same motion and then all of a sudden, here's the play action. Oh, here's the jet sweep. Here's the wrinkle that you didn't see. But to do that, you have to be disciplined enough to show the same look, carry the same steps, make sure that if you are shifted 3 people, somebody gets set. You don't have motion penalties and holding. Because if you have those, now we're back to 1st and 15, 1st and 20. The Browns aren't talented enough. They're too young and at certain positions to be at 1st and 20. When you got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, I mean, you can do some things. Come on now, you can do. So that's why he's so mad at practice, because he listen, it's some easy yards to be had. I'm going to scheme up. I want my coach to say, I'm in competition too. I'm asking my coach for 5 plays that you out scheme the opposing coach on defense. Give me 5 where you schemed them up. You said, I got you. The same way I need my quarterback 5 times, I need my quarterback to make a throw that is okay, that's just a grown man throw. I'm going to need my receiver 2 times to go up and get a 50-50 ball where it's yeah, he was one of them. I need my edge rusher to just, when it's 3rd and something, I need something. I need a little money to give me something, a little something on the rent. Those are the plays I want. And Todd Monken can give it to you, but you got to do your part. Line up right.
Right. Man, you've been here for over an hour. Thank you. But before we get out of here, I got to ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about this wide receiver group and the chemistry that's developing between Shedeur Sanders and the wide receivers and even the tight ends. How do you think this selected group of pass catchers blends with Shedeur's skill set?
Man. Well, first of all, I appreciate being here. It's light, man. I don't even know. The time flies when you're having a good conversation. It's just been a great conversation. Just honesty and openness. But to answer your question specifically, I think the biggest thing that's developing is, the difference between some people and other people is some people got the it. And that it propels and brings something out of you. What you see in practice is the guys going the extra mile, the diving catches, the catches from Wallace and Laura, guys, Boston going up over getting them. And what you see that is, and I'll explain it specifically, is, see, Shedeur is trying to, he's doing a good job of being a CEO. And sometimes when you're the face of an organization, you got to stand above certain things. Jerry Jeudy, we have an infamous play against the Chicago Bears where he threw a dime to him, went right through his little old hands, and he turned it into an interception. He had another one of them plays in camp. But you know what? There was a kind of a conversation about whether who Jerry Jeudy was riding with. We know what the conversation they was arguing on the sideline. But you know what the thing about Shedeur is? He realizes now, I might need Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
I might need you down the line. So what I need to do is I got to still show confidence in you. See, sometimes I learned this when you in public, right? Never embarrass your significant other in public. Never embarrass your significant other in public. Because at the end of the day, that if you want to have a conversation about what just happened, you can do it at the house behind closed doors. But you need to show the utmost respect for what your relationship is. And so that's what he's doing. Because, yeah, I'm going to still give Jerry Jeudy the ability to go catch that football. I'm going to give you a chance because I need you. I'm going to need you some point during the season. And when I throw it to you, I'm going to show that I got the expectation that you're going to bring it down. Because it's just like the politics. It's just like in our country. You can be a Republican or you can be a Democrat or you can be somewhere in the middle. And when them primaries happen, one person gonna go over here and say a bunch of stuff about another person, and another person gonna say that. And half the country gonna vote this way, and half the country gonna vote that way. But the thing about America, and we talk about what American is and what American ain't, but don't get it twisted. I ain't going nowhere. Still love America. I ain't going nowhere. This is my country. We all listen. I believe in what it means, right?
Right.
So guess what? After the primaries and after the election, whoever wins, you're not the president of the Democrat or Republicans. You're the president of everybody.
Boom.
All of them. So guess what? When the competition is over and whoever come out on top, it's one band, one sound. You represent Jerry Jeudy just the same way you represent Wallace. You represent the rest of Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion. And you know what it's showing? Right now, they showing when you throw it to Jerry Jeudy, they know that if you give him a shot, you're going to give them a shot. And
right.
They trying to make the most of their opportunities. And that's why the energy is there. That's why you go. And sometimes we can't all you got to think about it. Everybody ain't going to make a perfect throw, right? But it just seemed like the franchise quarterbacks, don't they just seem like they get in the football game and things start moving? You ain't did nothing all game.
Right.
And in that fourth quarter hit, all of a sudden, here's a little first down. Somebody make a catch. You go down and put the team in the end zone.
Yep.
That is the thing that people sometimes misunderstand. It's not about 400 or 500 yards. It's about, are you believable to the dudes blocking and catching for you and needing to go stop the other team? You believe it? You believe it? And if you believe it, you got a chance.
Man, I know I said it last time. I got to ask you this. What does it feel like to you? Or when you see this, what's your reaction? When you see the Taylor Green praise, and this is no disrespect to anybody, or the Dylan Gabriel praise for going with the 3s and the 4s. But last year, when Shedeur was going with the 3s and the 4s, that's just the 3s and the 4s. What goes off of your mind when you read that difference when that goalpost moves?
Well, it's great. I would rather you tell me straight to my face that you compromised than me have to find out on my own. You just telling on yourself. Like that's the big thing. You are literally telling on yourself because there's no bigger way to raise your hand and say, yeah, here we go again with this. Because think about it. I used to keep receipts for everything. But sometimes when you got enough money in the bank or you got enough money, you don't care nothing about no receipt because you ain't returning nothing.
Ooh.
Why would I keep the receipts? I plan on either wearing it or don't wear it. If it don't fit, you must have quit. I ain't gonna wear it anyway. I'll give it away.
Right.
So I ain't keeping receipts. We done built up enough cachet and enough currency in the bank to know You said this. I said this. Which one turned out to be truthful?
Right.
This. And pretty soon, you'll stop even listening to it. Like today. They said, I thought you'd go be at practice. I said, why would I need to go to practice today when I just been there 3 days? I already know it. I just seen them drop 35 dimes. What changed today? Because we dropped the dimes yesterday and you talked about Dylan Gabriel today.
Ooh.
He just ended practice with 2 of the biggest throws. He had the biggest throw, but I'm expecting a Tiger to change his stripes today.
Right.
We spent more talking about Sorsby, and we told you. I said, here's how I knew I was out on it. I'm old enough to remember Pete Rose dying, not getting in the Hall of Fame because he bet on his team.
Come on.
I'm old enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember when Donahue, the referee, I'm old enough to remember when those things were looked at as bad things. Right. And then you moved the goalposts and tried to tell us that it wasn't no big deal, because that's what we do nowadays. Well, listen, let me just tell you something. We already seen the mirror. We know that certain things ain't a big deal for you, but for us, I in Cleveland, I seen Emmanuel Clausse and Ortiz go to federal prison for betting on his team. But you telling me this guy over here, you're not only willing to let him in the league, but you're gonna say waste draft capital on him? I was out on that. I ain't had to say nothing. I said that. Well, you done told on yourself. Why would I spend my time convincing you? You know what? You know where I always say. You already know where hit different touchdowns, and every time they get to be throwing, it's crickets. I just don't hear anybody. I don't. I don't understand. It's touchdowns. Where we at today?
Right. Right, man. Bush, dog, man, it's been so much fun having you here, bro. For anybody,
man, it was a pleasure, man. Pleasure.
For anybody who is under a rock, can you please tell them where to find you?
Man, you get me up on Twitter, gbush91. We be covering a lot of things, man. I want to give a shout out to independent media. Everybody out there, I learned my lesson. If you say one person's name, you can't say everybody's. So I want to say, if you do a podcast, if you out there moving, if you really listen, all it takes, trust me, get you a camera, get you a microphone, and just start talking. It ain't gonna look perfect. It ain't gonna be perfect, but find something that you're passionate about, and it'll come back to you. You can find me, Garrett Bush. You can just search me. Shout out to Earl the Pearl and Tyvis Powell on Top 5. Final Cut. They are on Wednesday at 6 p.m. My brothers, I do a show with my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers. It's called Top 5. We do that on Sunday. It'll be moving to Friday. Check them out. Shout out to my wife, who Rosie does. I mean, she works 7 days a week. She works tirelessly, and she does graphics. She's the engineer. She does all those things. And so I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the people. I even like to think the people I disagree with, because disagreement gives me the platform to show my personality. So I thank goodness for UCSS, 92.3 The Fan, ESPN Cleveland, all of them. We appreciate you, because you know what we're able to do? I'm able to come and debate with y'all every single day and keep it real. So, but you can find me all with Garrett Bush. Just search it on the internet, the barbershop, of course. And then again, you, my brother, I appreciate the conversation. It's very rare that you can come in and I feel like I've known you for so long, and just what you've done in your game and what you put into this industry and what you continue to do and grow. You ain't done, bro. It's so much more to be had. It's so much more. And every time you one of the very few people when you be talking, I'm like, dang, why did I think of that? Man, I should have thought about that, man. Like, that was a cold angle on that one, right? So, I appreciate you, and make sure you guys continue to support this brother and continue to support independent media. I want to thank you, and God bless everybody.
Man, that is G Bush. As a matter of fact, man, just thank you. And shoot, man, I don't, man, I'm humbled, bro, because just the way you cooked today, a masterclass. I learned so much, and I laughed when you just said that, because I had so many moments today where I was just writing stuff down. That scarlet letter, that
Right.
scarlet that scarlet letter. I was like, hey, this remind me of like when the preacher comes to the guest church and he lets somebody else preach at his church.
Yeah.
And then he get up and look, he got the water, he got the handkerchief. Go
ahead. Listen, you home at your church, but you got to put something in the plate. You got to put something in the plate. Like, hey, he cooking today. See, sometimes only they know that reference right here. They know that. But when the real link up with the real, it's different, man. You know what I'm saying? When you on one accord, see, if you stay, don't worry about. I always say this: barbershop ain't for everybody.
Okay. Ooh.
This ain't for everybody. I'm only talking to the people I'm talking to. Like I always told people like this: how y'all mad that people that support Shedeur Sanders, they be on y'all's timeline, right?
Right.
They be at y'all when y'all be saying stuff, when y'all be saying and doing things, the aunties be on you. I said, let me ask you a question. It's just as many people in the world that don't like Shedeur Sanders and talk about him all the time. Them people be on my timeline, but how many times I talk about him? I don't even see who. I don't waste no time on my podcast talking about who don't like what. This ain't for everybody. I ain't asking for it. This ain't gonna be a whole big conglomeration of people that no. Sometimes I don't eat birthday cake with y'all. It's okay. You know you really down with somebody when you go to their little kid's birthday party.
Oh man, you said something in.
I don't eat birthday cake with everybody. I'm not gonna get invited to every place. There's all kind of things in the industry I don't get invited to. I don't take no offense to it because I know this ain't for everybody. But when you see me, I'm gonna keep it respectful. I'm gonna keep it professional, and more importantly, I'm gonna keep it truthful.
Man, G. Bush, man. Listen, I wish I had some kind of dope way to let it. What do? You just say, I don't know, man. Listen, I'm gonna get to these super chats. Man, Bush, you can hang out. I know you might got to run.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, say no more. Hey, look, we get into the super chats.
Yeah.
All right. Man, my dog Bush with me. Okay, for sure. Craig Johnson, 5590 said, hey, Dukes and G. Bush. AC Vegas said, what's up, Vegas? He said, Jehovah Yahweh bless to keep you both. The ancestors are speaking through you men, speaking what they couldn't. Thank you, brothers, and Yeshua, Messiah's name. I hope I pronounced it right. Sometimes I get a little, but man, thank you, Craig, bro. You've been a supporter, and I'm glad.
Shout out to Craig. I didn't see him on my joint too. Listen, keep supporting. I appreciate the people. It warms my heart to see them show up over there and show up over here too. I love that.
Man, that's tough, boy. Selmo Fudd 4572 said, yo, G. Bush, what's up, big dog?
What up, Selmo Fudd? What's good with you, brother?
Yeah. 21 page. Now y'all gotta put me on this. 44 jewels. What is that?
See, the jewels is something that is new in the YouTube game. It's just it's there's a certain amount that people have, and they do it. It's just like little tips. It's like for the live, like we appreciate you. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times is you can have gifts, you can have jewels, you can have super chats, and those eventually add up to a monetary. So we appreciate all the jewels, man.
Yeah, appreciate the jewels. Literally dropping jewels.
Yeah, literally.
Okay. 21 page. Thank you, my dog. Mike Stephanie said, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He said, I love to see two real brothers come together. It kills the narrative of the crap mentality. No hate, all love. Dog, man, I just got to say, man, when you see people doing stuff that you admire, I'm a player. Like, I got there's no two ways about it. I know what I am. I know what my daddy raised me to be. I am P. I'm a player, and players respect players. So when you got guys in the game, like, that's why when you see these panels, when you see NBA on TNT or ESPN, what it is, when you got Shaq, Kenny, and Barkley, they respect each other's game, and the level of joking that they're on, it takes on a different life form.
You can't like you got to think about it. Like, I love this. Like, when I'm watching you, I'm looking at your shoes in the background, and I'm like, hey, man, you got them joints right there. I ain't hating on it. I'm just like, dang, I got to get in my bag. You know what I'm saying? Like all that means is when you see somebody else winning, that means that's God just showing you what's possible. He's just showing you it's possible. And so instead of just winning, he's saying you can go get it too.
Man, bruh, you right. Man, and I would say G. Bush in particular, I just thought it was I knew from when I finally went and watched, because there was a time I didn't watch people's stuff because I didn't want anybody to think that I was biting them or somebody else. So I just wouldn't watch. Funny story. I remember when I used to rap back in the day. I saw Ludacris at a bar around the crib, from the crib, and I went and gave him my CD, and he was like, "Listen, bro, I'm pretty sure it's dope. I think I done heard of you before, but I cannot accept this." And I didn't get it. Now, ended up being signed by one of his lead A&Rs, and he told me that Luda had just had a legal battle about a song that he never heard that sounded the same.
Wow.
There was somebody sued Luda. You could Google it. Somebody sued him for copyright infringement for a song that sounded similar, some words that were said. Now, Luda won the case, but they had to litigate this because someone who didn't know said, "Oh, well, he said it and he said it." So great minds think alike is never the narrative pushed. To be negative, they can be negative.
Yes.
And I said all of that to say that when I did go watch you, that I said, all right, cool. All right, I'm picking up what he putting down. And then I think the common thread with Coach Prime, where it was just kind of like, dog, like you said something crazy today. Of everybody that wants Coach Prime's time, and this ain't me trying to be like no cool guys club or nothing like that. It's just the facts. If you want to go see what Coach Prime thought about last year and everything, G. Bush, literally, you have to reference, and that interview went everywhere. And if you want to know what he felt about his visit to Cleveland last week, he could have gave that to ESPN, and it's the first headline. It's all over SportsCenter. He gave that to us too. And I just think that we have a responsibility to continue to go out here and create more me's and you's.
Yes.
Like you said, we got to do that. So the fact that you came over here and linked up and spent the time that you did, I'm grateful, my brother.
Man, it's paying it forward. It's just, actually, to be truthful, he's a good representation of what it means by leading by example. Because if he got time, I got time. Ain't nobody.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Hey, my boy Bernard Francis dropped the $99, $100 super chat. Boy, that's $100.
Woo!
Man, Bernard Francis. Man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. That type of stuff keeps the channel going.
Man,
thank you.
Salute.
That, man, big salute. Man, Craig Johnson again. Shout out to Craig. My boy AC Vegas said, "Come on, culture. Please buy our brothers a cup of coffee. They're giving us what they don't want us to have. Throw in some Skrilla." Hey, boy, you speak the language. Now this is another guy that can speak multiple languages. I don't know because at first I know he told me it's from Vegas, but he used so many different types of slang, and then he was able to speak intelligently too, and then was able to I don't want to say intelligently. He was able to use what they call the King's English, right? Because you can be intelligent and not ever use any of that English. So
or not even have the emotional intelligence to understand when you should.
Okay, boom. Okay, man, understanding that, man. But see, I wanted to take that one. Okay, I'm just letting you know I might borrow that. Now, I'm letting you know now.
It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
My boy Marty Smith, he said $10. He said, "Man, appreciate that. Just supporting great content by my dogs, man. Thank you, Marty. Man, Marty be Marty. It's been some dark days." And Marty was there when it was 50 views. Marty might have been 12 of them. So thank you.
Right.
So,
them day ones there's some people that have been with me since 2014. And the crazy part about it is, it ain't just the funny thing. We be talking like there's so many white people so many people that come up and be like, "Yo, let me just tell you something. What you be talking?" So it ain't. Don't let them be telling you can't be who you is and move a certain way. No, you can't.
Man, that's beautiful, man. And speaking of Speaking of Caucasian people, here's my favorite Caucasian in the world, Regina Dukes, my older sister, with the 49.99 super
There
chat.
you go.
Yeah, we say that she's not of the culture, but she really is, and that's my
Right.
favorite joke. Man, love you, sis. I appreciate that, dog. She gonna kill me for that.
Yeah, she is. She gonna get Neil Gray. What's up, my guy?
Neil Gray, mainstream $2 super chat said mainstream sports media has to make way for you guys. Dog, man, I tell you what, they ain't never got to. They ain't never got to.
We stay. And the thing is, what I learned is I'm big about, that's why I'm big on the infrastructure. I realized, like, there's some times where you say, okay, I'm realizing I got a big voice. The thing I don't play with is I don't do the podcast war stuff with nah. That's destructive, because they want us to think it's only a couple of y'all that we're gonna let in. It's only a couple, right? And then when you get in, they want you to close the door behind you. Hey, don't let the air out. You letting all the air out. Hey, listen, G. Bush, I know you kind of, you different. Don't let all them other kids. Hey, that's just riff. No. We're not doing that. Absolutely not.
Right, man. You said something then, because I've definitely felt that on both ways. I've had somebody tell me to close the door, and I done had the door closed in my face. So that means that you feel me? So
slam the door. Dang, you had to slam it down hard.
Dang, bro. I go back to YouTube. Excuse me. Right.
Thought we was better than that. Boy.
Selmo Fudd said $20. Man, thank you, my brother. He said Coach Prime could have went anywhere, but he showed G. Bush and Deuce the Scoop some love. Salute, big dogs. Yes, he
anywhere.
Shout out to Coach Prime, man, for sure.
Shout out to Boog too. He was one of the first one. He was one of the first one. Because here's the thing. Prime got infrastructure. Like, he moved militant with his structure. Ain't gonna, listen, if you know, you know. I mean, it's layers to this. You ain't about to just get, no, it got to be scouting done. Like,
yeah.
So the way they got their infrastructure layered, they be weeding people out. Like, so Boog, if you ain't get no Boog interview, you out of here. If you the Boog didn't respect your gangster, you wasn't even gonna get past the gates. So you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Boog.
Man, big shout out to Boog. Okay, GTS Communities with 440 jewels at Unc Alert.
Yes, sir. Yes,
man,
sir.
Appreciate it, man. Definitely an Unc. The proudest Unc. Craig Johnson, 55.90. Again with another $10 super chat. Appreciate that, Craig. He said, I've told this story multiple times now, but here again, Dukes last summer, when my air conditioning blew in Las Vegas, offered me his money to help me. Who does that? I'll never forget that. Man, dog, I appreciate you, man. And you just, shoot, man. I was like, hey, man, I'm just glad we made it out, bro. You feel me? It's been a lot has happened in the last 12 months, and thank you, bro.
Hey, let me tell you something. Listen, this how I know we related on the low. The worst thing in the world is somebody. I did this show I did a topic with Tyvis and there. I said, which would you rather do? Go without internet for a whole summer or air conditioner for a whole summer? I said, bro, I can't be hot. Under no circumstances can I be hot. I just have to rent old Martin DVDs. I'm just have to do the Martin reruns DVDs in the Walmart bin, the Costco bin with the $2.99 joints, and run it on an old PlayStation. But I can't be hot.
Man, what's favorite Martin episode?
Man, listen, the Tommy Hearns one is crazy when his face was swole up. Yeah. Listen, what other? Listen, the Superfly Jones, one of the first episodes, that was super duper crazy.
Yes,
like it sucked that the theme of everything was why it just never seemed to cut out right for black folks. Like, Martin was the show, and then halfway through, stuff started happening. Gina and Martin, listen, they live in two different houses. They didn't had the show, like the way the show ended was so sad. And then think about it like this.
Right.
we had Martin in Living Color and New York Undercover, and they killed
Thursday
off
night.
Torres. Why you kill Torres off?
Man, they killed Torres. I forgot about that, dog.
We was winning. We had it moving. Listen, and think about it. The crazy part about it, it was all on Fox.
Thursday night on Fox was unmatched. Never seen nothing like it ever. Never.
It was crazy.
Now I'm gonna tell you the night that had them on that they were the first night. I believe it was Thursday too, but it was that Cosby Show, A Different World combo.
Man, bro, listen. So they had, it might have been, it was the Thursday, but that was on NBC.
Yes.
And so they had the Cosby Show. Then they had A Different World. And when A Different World came out, like, you got to think about it. It was at a black school,
man,
in the 80s. Like, I hadn't seen, there was no representation of black college life on television.
bruh.
And think about it. Bill Cosby was a doctor.
Right.
Claire was a lawyer.
Right.
Like, his son-in-law was in the Navy or a military man. Like, they all had good jobs. And I thought it was magical. I said, man, when I get older, I'm gonna have enough money. I could go make me one of them Bill Cosby sandwiches in the middle of the night. I said, dang, Theo pull up. I'm like, dang, Theo, that's some. I said, you see the level of lunch meat they got in there?
Man,
they just in that refrigerator. I said, dang, that's the midnight snack.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we ate when we ate. It wasn't no more left. It was like, yeah, you gonna eat tomorrow.
That's it.
This is for tomorrow. Why you all in my meat? Like,
right. Nah, you right. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what Different World did to me. It was a long time before I realized Hillman wasn't real.
Hillman, I was like, Hillman, and then I'm like, well, I'm like, when I got older, I'm like, okay, they had Morehouse and they had Spelman or Howard, but I didn't know Hillman didn't exist. You are right.
I had no clue. I thought it was an AU center. I did.
Bro.
It was down here. I thought it was down there with Morris Brown, Spelman, and Morehouse, and Clark. I thought it was right down there in the AU.
But you know, let me tell you something so crazy. Is like, see, but that in Atlanta, it's funny because when you go to Atlanta, it's like a black alter universe. Like, it's like even the rich people is black.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, I've never, as a person that comes from let's talk about that North-South stuff. As a person who comes from north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Right.
I come from, listen, I'm in Cleveland. We the closest thing than Canada. Black people had to go to Canada to be free. Like, wow. We up the north. Right. But it's crazy because right across the border, we got Kentucky, which was a southern state. So there's this thing where in the north, like in the south, you can go to a city and it's all black people. And from the north, it's kind of jarring because you're like, wow, I just went to the dollar store and it was black people. But then I went to the mall and it was all black people. But then I went to like the principal's office and the teachers and the lawyers and they're all, so it shows you kind of like the conditioning, because even, and I always tell my mom and dad, they educated, my dad went to HBCU, my mom went to Kent State. They made sure, my dad told me, he said, yo, would you tell your son to go to a HBCU? And he said, well, if that's what he want to do, it's a good education. He's like, but I want him to learn how to operate in both worlds. So there was times when I went to all white schools, right? And we went to these gifted schools, but he also said, nah, I went to a city school and I played football at McKinley. So he's like, because I needed you to know how to talk to your people and to be comfortable around your people and to be comfortable. And for me, a lot about what the barbershop is being comfortable in two worlds and being comfortable to say, oh yeah, I do TV in this, but also be comfortable enough that when I see people pull up, I understand what it is to give somebody the look and what's up, family? How you doing?
Yeah,
It's still y'all. What's up, family? How you doing? You good, bro? You good? And they look at white people like, yo, do you know each other? I'm like, no, we don't know each other, but we are part of each other.
Yes,
it's a collectiveness.
Bro, it's that there. For me, for somebody like my high school I went to was 99.9% black. Banneker High School, shout out to B-Town. That's where I graduated from. I also went to Tri-Cities, went to Westlake. So I went to 3 high schools, and it may have been a total of 15 other in that school, right? And then I go from there to Auburn University from Atlanta, where I was in the point, like maybe 0.6 percentile of black males who didn't play sports.
That's you know what? Because when I went to OU, there was more Asian and Indian Americans, and there was a larger ethnic population of foreign students than black. The only people that were on that campus were athletes that happened to be black. That was it. It was so they was outnumbered so much. And at the time, there was no black fraternities on the yard.
Right.
There was it was stark. But you know the crazy part about it, if I didn't go to schools where I was one of 5 black people for my whole entire high school, or junior or elementary school, I might have thought it was different. But I learned to coexist and create your identity, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it's different. Standing alone is tough. Like going to a place where it's only you every single time.
Yeah.
It can come with some pressure to it. But I'm glad of my background, because you learn to live in both worlds.
Man, before we get to the next super chat, man, Will Smith on Fresh Prince. I wish we got to support sitcoms, because there was so many lessons in sitcoms. Like where we grew up, we were able to turn on the TV and get lessons, and it not be some of this. And no disrespect or no hating on nobody how they get a bag, but some of this reality TV stuff just garbage. So
what you mean something, bro? Bro, listen. Because see, that's a trap. It's a trap. And I think it's also a trap. And I'm glad people are starting to learn from it. And I think when COVID happened and everybody was sitting down, it taught people and athletes and entertainers, if we already got the culture, they want to talk like this. The fashion, they already doing the deals with you, whether it's Nike or clothing. The kids look up to what you're doing. The music is there. If we already got that, and we also got the relationships, why do we need the middleman?
Man, what?
Why wouldn't I just have a conversation with my brother then? Why wouldn't I just break bread? You already got y'all got 1 million followers apiece. Right. Why let somebody else tell your story? Y'all tell it to each other. And I think that started to happen. That's starting to happen. That's why you see the podcast. And be honest, we go back to the ESPN conversation. They're finding out that this content hits different. Man. Ain't nobody want it. Like people want the real. Right now, look, people listen, we in this country, gas $10 a gallon. The price of groceries is crazy. And the only thing ain't black and white now. It's green. Like that's the color that's like, come on, man. Like when you ain't got, like everybody, when the bag start, people gotta wake up, bro. You gotta wake on up and realize the movement and how people is moving. And I think people are starting to catch up and say, man, why would I let that person tell my story when I could tell it? Or get you a camera and a relationship and had a conversation.
Yeah, no, dog, you said something, because you don't have to. And I think, and even just to bring it back to that Fresh Prince episode, there was one episode where Carlton, I think Will got shot, and Carlton went to go and Carlton went and got the pistol. He was
I remember that.
yeah,
I
Will
remember
got
that.
shot, and Carlton was going to go retaliate because that's what he thought it took. And there were times where, because that's what the stereotype and everything, even though he wasn't from that, that's what he was portrayed in the moment, because he was lost in emotions and he was lost in, this is how it's supposed to go. I want this back for my people, right? And I took that episode and I downloaded it for myself, and I realized, I said, bro, like, I don't have to go with the stereotype every time. Like, if I'm down here in this place where some of these things just not gonna go my way, I don't have to prove how black I am or where I come from just because this is what you guys are expecting. What I can do is handle this business the way y'all would. I'm gonna call the police on y'all like y'all call them on me.
Hey, listen, I'm a civilian.
Yeah,
y'all,
okay.
Listen, I'm a civilian. Y'all better not listen. I tell everybody, don't you hit me. I'm calling. I'm telling you. Listen. You did it. You did it. I'm telling you. No, I'm listening. You no. I tell you, don't you do no illegal stuff around me. Listen, like my own wife would say, she'll turn me in. He over here. He right over here. He hiding in the bedroom up there. And you know the crazy thing that we also got to remember too is, see, sometimes when we do what we do, sometimes I had to tell people, hey, look, I can't fight every battle.
Right.
I can't fight every battle. And what I mean by that is, people will say, G. Bush, did you see what so-and-so said? You need to do a blog. I said, I can't. I said, that's not my, see, a lot of times is when you on defense, you can't put no points on the board. And what they want you to do is always be on defense. Why you say that? Would you do that? Would you do that? And every time, the time you spend rebuttaling could be the time you spend talking and teaching.
Man,
I don't want to rebuttal to your lie. I want to be on offense.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be attacking. Yeah, listen, this is how we moving. But when you're on defense, it gets you caught in the cycle of always feeling like you have to be the voice. I'm not a monolith. The black community is not one voice. It is not one anointed person that we put up top. No, we are a culture of people that have different views and have a different style, and we should all be able to express those views and not put it in one box. And no one person represents all of us. So sometimes you gotta tell them, hey, listen, I ain't see that. I was asleep. I was tired yesterday. I ain't see none of that. I ain't checked for that.
Man, you said something then, boy. You said you can't score playing, bro. You can't dunk sliding your feet, boy.
Can't.
You can't. Man,
you can't.
You can't. Atlanta State Fire. What's up, what? My dog, 200 Joules, jamming. Appreciate that, my brother.
Appreciate you.
Just saying. Uncle Alert, 440 Joules. Appreciate you dropping the jewels. Drop the jewels. We appreciate it. Babyface, 10 Joules, hiding. I got to figure out I know what Uncle Alert means. I know I'm definitely an unk, but I got to figure out the rest of this.
I love like when there's even we know, they be like, there's the YNs, there's the OGs, there's the unks, and then there's the old heads.
Right.
So like even people, like, the great thing about it is it's beautiful because we do have coded language.
Right.
They got coded language. We got coded language too.
Oh man,
we got it too.
To shout out Kenders, it's just a little more flavor.
Just a little bit of seasoning, bro. Yeah, everybody. No, listen. Everybody came. Listen, you be like, bro, who made the chicken? Who made that? The chicken not done all the way in the middle. Like, you didn't put no seasoning in the flour or nothing. I'm like, why your fried chicken tastes like baked chicken? You can't have fried chicken but baked chicken consistency.
Hey, boy, hey man, it's so wrong with you, bro. You're crazy.
Who did that? That your girl? Who did that? No, I don't know who did that.
DeJuan Mill 77 dropped 10 Joules. Gold coin. Appreciate that, DeJuan.
Appreciate you.
Gwen Reese came through with the $5 super chat. She just showing love. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Greg Castellanos 4202 2 Joules said 100. I understand 100.
Yeah, we understand that.
Lisa Woods, 4833, $5 super chat. She said, G Bush, you're cooking again. The art door is closed. And she put that again. I know how you type that one, Auntie. See you, Auntie.
Man, I'm like, yo, listen, the art door, I told him, I said, it's a lot of people that's going to switch over. A lot of people with this art door is like right now, like the Cleveland Browns, we in a new movement. When the Browns get good, it's going to be a lot of people switching over. Now, I told them they better want to get on the bandwagon right now because CU Auntie is keeping the receipts. And I don't know if the arc, Noah's building that arc, and it was 90 degrees with him and his family. They probably thought it was crazy. But what Noah building the ark for? And then they started moving around, and the rain clouds started coming around. Hey, you think Noah got a little room on that ark over there? He had his people at the door. Nope. Man. You don't see all these animals I got here? Nope, ain't no room.
Man, you can't move that antelope out the way. Let me get that, Noah.
Listen, man. No. You better get in line right now because CU Aunties, they taking names down.
And shout out to the CU Aunties, man. We got an event. If you're gonna be in Atlanta, make sure you come down to I think they're starting to promote it now. I believe that Wednesday. But we're gonna have the information, but I will be at the event. Travis Hunter's mom gonna be there, Ferrante Edmonds. It's gonna be a dope event. I think Rob the Man Media gonna be there. So dog, man, make sure you tap in with the CU Aunties. They are not playing.
Bro, Atlanta be doing, man. Y'all be like, that's like the Black Cinderella back down there, bro. Like y'all got cotillions and balls. Y'all gonna be out there. It's crazy, bro.
Hey, man, you know what's crazy? Like being from it, you don't realize it until you get away from it. Like when you get away from it, like it's literally people that I know that think it's more black people in the world than white people because of Atlanta.
Bro, it is.
Well, hold on, let me correct that. More black people, more African Americans in America because we know.
Right. That that's the crazy thing about it. Like I was just laughing, joking with people. I said, bro, if you get 2-3 black people, if you get 2-3 real ones in a place, they're gonna shut it down. Mm-hmm. Because the swag just overflow because he'd be like, I was the realest dude in my city. They'd be like, I was the realest dude in my city. And they're like, you know what? We two of the realest ever right here, right now. And it'd be like, and you just, they don't even, you start talking to somebody, you be like, man, I was talking to old boy for about 4 or 5 hours. You loud, you done laughing, you dapping up, and you looked around, everybody's like, oh my gosh, who are those guys? You didn't know.
Hey, somebody, I guarantee you somebody in here watching this right now thinking like, the hell G. Bush and Dukes been talking about for 2 hours. They're not going to get it.
They don't get it. They don't understand this that porch talk. Like, this is why. And then you talk about how this works, because I think more than anything, it's community. See, we talk football and we talk, politics, we talk finance, we talk school, background, history. We done talked a lot of different things, but more than anything, we talking about what the community is, right? What the culture consists of. And a lot of times there's tenets to the culture that sometimes don't get spoken about that you need to speak about, because some people think, why does it always have to be about race? And I always tell people, my wife is Filipino. Like, why would I tell her if she's sitting there talking about, she'll watch Filipino news and what's going on over there that affect her culture? And I'm like, why does it have to be about that? No person that I'm always willing to hear about the plight of another group of people, especially when they disenfranchised. So my question is, why did it hurt you to hear about a story? I'm just telling you who I am. Yeah. It don't have to be about you. I ain't say you specifically. Did I?
Man, boy, you said something. Man, I think I done said you done said something then 50 times today. But you keep saying stuff like, why would somebody caring about what's going on in their community bother you?
Yeah, why would that hurt you? Why would that hurt? Like, if people talked about an earthquake in Japan,
right,
and Japanese people had energy, and they said, man, they was hurt here in America because they maybe Japanese American citizens.
Right.
Why would I look at them and then internalizing and say, why it got to be about all that? You live in America now. Why you doing? Why it got to be? Whoa! Like, what about our humanity? Don't you feel like you should be willing or mature enough to handle hearing about somebody else's plight or problem?
Man, boy, hey, you right, my brother. That was heavy. TJ Jones said, "Can we talk about the quarterback tiers?" $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it.
I just find it, like I said, the quarterback tiers are. It's funny how there seems to be guys that are on the tiers that seem to not be doing anything. I find it funny that Lamar Jackson, who's won 2 MVPs, is in the second tier magically, but Joe Burrow, who's injured every year, is on the first tier. Josh Allen, who's done nothing in the playoffs. Actually, we could say he cost his team some playoff win. He's done nothing in the playoffs. But Lamar Jackson, he in the second tier. That's kind of wild work to me. JJ McCarthy is rated higher than Shedeur Sanders. That's JJ. What?
Yeah, you literally can like you said. Sometimes you like earlier you talked about. Sometimes they just tell us, and we got to be grateful when they just tell us that, hey, we can't really respect that because it is. That's one of those things that'll just make me be like, yeah, this is wrong. Like sometimes we may see prices, like you may wonder, like, man, I wonder if this site is legit, or I wonder if this is legit. And then you see something so outlandish that you say, no, that can't be right.
I just look at the first few. First of all, it's a non-starter for me. I look at the top of your ranking list, and if I see any discrepancies at the top of your ranking list, I know you might believe the world is flat. Like, I can't. And look, I can't argue with. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, respectfully, I can't do that because you're telling me I'm wasting my time. Because if I get to the first 5 and your first 5 ain't right, then that tells me you compromised on. So the gray area ones where you can say, okay, this guy, but if you compromise on the first 5, it's a non-starter for me because I'm like, well, I already know where you're going with this. Like, why would I pay attention to you?
1,000%. Say no more. Hey, what's up? Where I just got that email too, bro. We definitely got work on the way. He gifted somebody a Dukes membership. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for you being a member. Thank you, bro. We got some work. Hopefully we get that work in this week, my brother. Vaughn Randall with the $2 super chat. What's up, Vaughn? Phenomenal show. I appreciate it. Thank you. We appreciate it. Mike Stephanie with the $9.99 super chat said, with him saying that he is the algorithm, speaking on Shedeur, that hurt those haters' souls because they know that they were doing it just for clicks, and they know that he knows it too, and they hate it. Agreed?
Yeah. Agreed. Well, you know, the thing about it is, for me, in a perspective where I come from, Cleveland, is, bro, why would you not want to cover and do something for your team? You cover the Browns. You want see what hurt me. But my moment was they had fooled me into thinking that these people that was covering the team actually wanted the team to be successful.
Right.
That was never the case. They're like they were never in it for the team to be great. Like my thing is funny is why you won't even say the man's name when he play well.
Right.
They didn't told me 6 interceptions don't count. I said, well, Shedeur had them 6 interceptions.
Man, what?
6?
What? Yeah, absolutely, bro. What we got here? We got Dion Cassio, 3205, 30 jewels. Clutch. Thank you for the jewels.
Appreciate you.
TJ Jones says, member for 12 months. Appreciate it, my brother. He said, why is DG not listed on the 2026 quarterback tier chart? And when is someone officially considered a vet as this list is named? Does 7 starts mean you're now a vet? I don't want to answer that because I'm not well versed enough and I haven't done the research on the origins or the hierarchy with the quarterback tiers. So I don't want to answer that and be incorrect. But what I will do is do the research. And by the time we have another live, you pull back up and we're going to have that conversation in depth. And G Bush, you got anything on that?
Well, the tier list is a tier list where basically they go and get anonymous GMs or front office executives or scouts or defensive coordinators, people in the NFL, and they anonymously have them vote for players for tiers. So they got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Tier 4 is the lowest, and tier 4 is guys who they don't think are very good or players that don't have enough, saying track record to basically say if they're going to be good or not. Tier 1 obviously is the best of the best. The reason why Dillon Gabriel is not on the tier list is because I think that most people around the league understand that he's not in contention to be a starting quarterback. Deshaun Watson was on the tier list and Shedeur Sanders were. And ironically, they had Deshaun Watson higher on the tier list than Shedeur Sanders, which also was a non-starter for me because if you've watched camp, Deshaun Watson has not performed better than Shedeur Sanders. So opinions are opinions, I guess.
Drop the mic on that one. Sandra speaks truth. 10 jewels, thumbs up. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra. We appreciate you.
Sell Mo back in the building with a $10 super chat said, the Todd father, I like that, changed the climate and he's changing the culture with the rookies and all the players to be the best they can be to get on the field so they can cook. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think he's done a really good job of keeping the main thing the main thing. I love the fact that he gave everybody an opportunity to prove themselves on the field. And in America, that's the only thing you can ask for as a man is to give me the opportunity to prove myself on my own merits, not based on what you think in your head or what you done heard about somebody. Give somebody a chance to prove and show and prove what they can do. And I think, the quarterback competition is what that is giving guys a chance to prove themselves.
But still cooking, man. Rampage Ramsey with 440 jewels. Uncle Alert. Love that.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, my brother. Artemis Robbins, 4582, said, at Dukes to Scoop, who are you going to root for December 13th? I'm going to root for.
Is he saying the Falcons or the Browns? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
That's what he said. See, listen, hey, here's the thing. I feel sorry for y'all. I apologize for you, bro. Because I apologize. The Kevin Stefanski move, I'm still confused by it. He brought the whole staff down there. And then the first thing he did, he just muddied the waters. I don't know what's going on with Tua and Penix. I will figure it out. But for me, I'm not a big fan of Kevin. Not a big fan of him.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's put me in a position where I'm such a Falcons fan that adverse situations don't bother me as much.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go to the game. You can enjoy yourself even in a loss, just because it's like a day party.
Listen, it is. And by the way, listen, you got ball players. Listen, Drake London is nice. You got for Bijan Robinson is super. I don't know what he's doing with his hair, but I don't know what he's doing with that, but he's super duper nice. Kyle Pitts, you got some stuff right there, right? You did get you got the offensive line coach who came back, who when the Browns was running the football. He's now down there with him. So you got some stuff going on, but we'll see how it works, man.
Man, I think so. To be honest, it's going to depend on the situation. Like if Shedeur starting, the Falcons out of contention, I'm definitely rooting for the Browns. I'm rooting. All right, I'm rooting for Shedeur and Penix. Let me say that. That's who I'm rooting for. Regardless of who's there, what happens, that I'm rooting for those two.
Shedeur, there's how many people is fans of other team that's barbershop members? It's crazy.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like people's like my favorite team's the Lions or the Cowboys or the Falcons or the Eagles but they watch the channel because they Shedeur fans, which is crazy, which is why I think Browns fans are a little bit intimidated because there's a little bit of that replacement theory stuff going on where the identity of what the Cleveland Browns were in our fan base was Rust Belt America, blue collar. There wasn't a predominantly loud and proud segment of our population that was just predominantly African American. it was mainly known as, you know what I'm saying, middle America, Rust Belt type iron workers. And that's what the dog pound was signified for. Now it's more, if you think about it, it's transient. It's the, oh, well, what are we losing? Are we losing the identity of what we are, because we have a lot of these other people that are gravitating to one person and not specifically the Cleveland Browns history. So I think that's a part that goes, I ain't want to get historical with it, but
nah, man, thank you, because you educated me, bro. Like, I'm taking notes. Ramsey with 440 joules. Uncle Alert. They came back with another 100. That's 540 total, plus another 10. Drop, man. Thank you, bro. Craig Johnson again with $5 said, come on, chat, put a little something into play for our brothers. And they came on with it. They did.
They stepped it up. They did.
Life is beautiful and grand. $4.99. Thank you so much, Life. She said, great job, fellas. I love the collaboration. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Man, I'm learning. Like, I learned, even me doing this, I never did this. I usually try to go through and answer the questions when I watched you. And this, I got this from you. So really, this is the crazy thing. When you offered me the bread that time, you was like, hey, bro, look, I'm gonna pay you. Yeah. I didn't know what I was turning down. But I knew that it was gonna be better for me for you to pull up and have a conversation with me.
And I respected it, because I said, okay, he thinking like, I even respected you more, because, you know, that meant you betting on yourself, man. So you bet on, like, I said, okay, because usually and here's the way I do it is I don't care what it is. I mean, I offered to pay Coach Prime. Obviously, he said, "Ben, boy, I'm still with all that bullshit. You told that foolishness, you know. Yeah, you can't Prime, you can't. You know how you do. you know." So I was like, "Look, everybody," because the way I came up with the game was, I said, "I'm gonna be business-like." I remember when people will ask you to do something, and they want you to do it for free forever. And I said, nah, bro, I'm going to make it a business. So now I wanted to establish and help people. So now when somebody wants you to do something and they got a budget, you're going to be like, nah, well, I got the first and most important thing is when you could tell another organization, this is my rate. This how much I charge. This how much I got over here. And I wanted to make it where, like, when people come on, I'm like, listen, I know how much these companies was paying me. Right. And a lot of people don't understand because they ain't really been in the regular industry. So my thing was, when I get my company, I want to be the utmost legit. So when they come over and they pay them, I'm going to pay them, and they're going to be like, dang, he paid me that. And I was on the. So when you said, hey, now keep that, cuz you do me favor for a favor. I said, he keeping it player. I said, all right, he keeping it G. I said, I was excited. That's why you see me right here. Nah, bro, I told him, I said, I don't care if he read 1,000 super chat. I'm going to make sure he get his money's worth. I'm going to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times people are like, man, they want to give you 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever the minutes is. And then nah, bro, if we're going to collab, That's what it is.
No, man, thank you, bro, because I'm looking at the people that are coming in because you are here. And that's not lost on me. And so I just want to tell you thank you again in front of everybody, because there's a lot of people here from the barbershop. And when they came and subscribed to my channel, they let me know where they came from. They said, hey, saw you on G Bush, Dukes. Keep going. Saw you on G. I went to the barbershop. No lie. My son, barber. AC, what's up, AC? Over there at Browns and Stockbridge. Went to the barbershop. AC said, hey, Duke. Boy, you getting up through there, Duke. he said, Duke, I saw you on that G Bush, Duke.
I
promise he did.
On everything you up there, bro. You got Prime interview. How you up there? Like, man, what you talking about? You been on. Listen, you been on. Like you 20. Like, come on, man. 20. You've been to 24/7 sports. Come on now. Like,
man, listen.
See what I'm saying?
It don't matter what I've done. When I got on G Bush, he said, Duke, you getting up through there. He did.
That's
And he probably don't say nothing in your chat, but I'm gonna tell him to drop someone to his name, because you can see, like, I might go to the barbershop. That's another thing too. I could go to the barbershop. You're gonna be on the screen.
That's crazy.
Like, they paying attention. This is in Atlanta, bro.
That's a blessing.
Like you
that's
on
a
the
blessing.
screen.
That's
For
a
sure.
blessing.
Like, it's a real thing. He probably watching now. Hey, see, if you're watching now, drop something, bro. Just say something. For sure.
Man, but you know what? That's a testament. Listen, I always say the platforms is truly, the backing of the platforms is truly, it's just the people. It's the voice. It's just a conduit to the people. Like those individuals, like, they don't, that's what I'm saying. They don't, you guys are the reason that this is even possible. You know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't translating like that, you see what I'm saying? If it didn't hit and didn't translate, it wouldn't make no sense, right? So the cumulative, the energy is based on the people. So from your barber to wherever we at is a compliment to the platforms and the individuals that support us.
Man, that's a great way to put it. Miss LJ, 1999 super chat said, 2 of my favorites, something for the plate. Man, they done passed this plate around, man. We done brought my cousin down from Cleveland, man. He came down. We done gave him the orange juice in the pulpit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they pass you the juice in the pulpit, it's up.
It's done. They didn't look, and listen, we done went through praise and worship. Think about it. This is why I don't never worry about the haters. Like the haters ain't got enough attention span to watch 3 hours of nothing.
Right.
So they be like, man. And the thing about it is, I'm like, what are you gonna do? See, you got to rewind all this. They ain't rewinding all this. It ain't for everybody.
I never done this before, ever on my channel. I ain't never did nothing like this, bro. Ever. Bro, like the longest thing I had on my channel with somebody was what I did with Coach Prime the other day, and that was 1 hour and 17 minutes. That was the longest one.
You know, and this was impromptu because you said we was talking. I said, bro, we was talking about something. I said, you know what? I always remember, don't waste it behind the scenes. Had a conversation.
Yes, you did. You did.
Don't waste it. I said, you said, hold on, I'm gonna put me a live up. I said, I'm figuring you always go live.
Man, I was finna record. Man, we was about to do a regular recording, and I was gonna drop it. And then when you said don't waste, you said this now. Yeah. You said, bro, we shouldn't be. First of all, what we was talking about in the green room, y'all would have loved that. And G. Bush stopped it right then. He said, no, dog, no. We got to record this.
We got to record. We got to be like we got to. It's something special that happens in real time,
right?
And I came across that. I stumbled across that because I used to always pre-record my stuff too, because I used to always want. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I want the bells and whistles and this and that. I want everything set up and it got to be right. And then I realized that like the connection to the people is more impactful when you do it live because you're in the moment.
Right.
It ain't rehearsed. You coming from the heart, you know what I'm saying? And so they feel it more and it's impactful more when you do it live. I hope you do some more lives, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you what, this is gonna change a lot because people want to see what you gotta say. People like you got a lot of game and a lot of people in your delivery and the way you say certain things. So like when you say it live, it speaks to your soul. And the thing that the trajectory of the barbershop and any of the independent media is there's soul to it. These big platforms is cookie cut. It's why do you think people come to HBCUs to watch the band play?
Right.
Because it's soul, it's dancing, it's an expression. And so everything about the culture is that. So when you do it live, it feel like we had a family reunion.
Nah, absolutely. For sure, man. Bianca, I read that the threes as the E's. Yep. Got to pat my uncle on the back. You feel me? Y'all, they booing Derek at camp to my Derek.
That was dang.
Yeah.
Watson got booed.
Mm.
Dang, bro. You know what's so crazy? I didn't even like. Yeah, they've been at practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the unbothered effect. They've been at practice. We've been on 3 hours.
Dog, I know, bro.
We ain't talk can't know nothing.
Man, just done kicked it, bro. Like for real.
Like, see, that's the spirit of the unbotheredness.
Yeah, you're right. Because I'm watching it. It's somebody in the chat. My boy Carlton. He said, "Hey, the tracker." And I'm like, "Sure, we can't even make it through the super chats, the start message. We just trying to get through, make sure we talk to everybody.
We just trying to we gonna have the conversation, but then we'll get to the listen. What is already known don't need to be said.
Okay, boom, man. 21 pays, 250 joules. Appreciate that. Dropping joules. Algorithm, A. Gilrith, 1983. Okay, 10 joules. Hiding. We appreciate you dropping the joules. Peter D. Supernatural Hoovian, 6734. 5 memberships. 5 more people have joined. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Crazy. That's a blessing. Appreciate you.
Melanated Beauty 499 says, asking ye shall receive, right? Anyone in the chat have an extra ticket for Browns training camp tomorrow? LOL. Thanks in advance. If you got that ticket, Melanated Beauty 1, make yourself known so they can see you if somebody has that extra ticket for tomorrow.
Man, that's crazy that they moving tickets. I mean,
are they for sale?
I think you have to apply for them.
Oh,
like yeah. It's like not like I don't think they cost money, but it's obviously competition for them because that when somebody said that they was the algorithm, trust me, I was at practice and it's a very tough get at this point.
Wow.
These practices is packed.
Man, that's crazy.
Out. That's crazy. It's crazy.
American loves Ghana. 440 joules. Uncle Alert, man. Appreciate that, man. My son God there, DJ Screen, he from Ghana, man. So I got much love for
shout out to the Pan-African movement.
There we go. Boom. Dan 007, $5 super chat. Appreciate it. He said Dukes is my guy from day one. Daddy, you my guy too, my brother. Thank you, man.
Appreciate
you always support. Real Chris Moore, who just had a phenomenal interview with Colorado Buffalo offensive coordinator Brennan Marion. The most recent Brennan Marion interview, the one before camp where he broke down his philosophy, is on Real Chris Moore's channel. Go check him out ASAP. A friend of the show, somebody that Coach Prime has singled out and said he sees a bright future for him. So make sure y'all go follow and support Real Chris Moore. He dropped the $10 super chat and said, brothers, thank you. You all drop gems. G. Bush, I'll be reaching out soon.
Hey, listen, hit me up at 5th Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. 5th Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. And I answer. I answer the emails. I do. Like, people be like, sometimes people type and be like, I was just seeing if you're going to say something. Yeah, this me. This you? Yeah, this me. All right, then I ain't want nothing.
R. David Jones Jr., 200 joules, flow state. Man, my son was teaching me about flow state the other day. He was like, man, he made a tackle at the end of practice against this big back that he had been trying to tackle. And he said, man, when I find it was practice ended right when I got the flow state. I said, so he told me about it. So I understand the flow state. I'm a young unk. I used to say I was an ON, but now we just going with a young unk.
Yeah, you know what? It's so crazy, man. When you say flow state, I'll be in my anime bag. I'm like, man, what you talk about that last Airbender? What you talk about? Like,
I think that's it.
That like the flow state. Like, I'm thinking, okay, so I'm thinking about the Avatar, not the blue people, but the shout out to Legend of Korra. There's a video game out there, but it's kind of fire too. Okay. But needless to say, I got too much time on my hands. But that's what I think about when the flow state come out, right?
I'm thinking that's what the reference is.
Right.
Workman need not be ashamed. Workmen need not be ashamed. God bless you, brothers. Peace and love to you guys with a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that, my brother.
Appreciate you.
Grand Pooba, Virginia Beach, $10 says Shedeur is the franchise quarterback. Facts. Jason Lloyd, Bull, and others don't know football. Coach Monken, and when Shedeur has anxiety, he has anxiety. Think that's his quarterback. Coach Monken said when Shedeur has anxiety, he has anxiety. Think that's his quarterback. Was that an Easter egg drop?
I always tell you people the job as a franchise quarterback is to see and envision the game through the eyes of the coordinator or the play caller. So, and then Todd Monken also talked about the way that you marry the two together. You marry what he sees on the field and what his idea of offense is, but also keeping the playmaking ability and keeping the player who the player is into the core, tenets of what they like to do. So it's really a relationship. That's why if you got two people that don't see eye to eye with your play caller or a player that they don't like their skill set of the quarterback, it's just not going to work. So you have to be married together so that you can get the most out of the relationship.
Wow. Heavy. Easter's Walk 2006, 440 joules. Uncle Alert. Appreciate that. GTS Communities with another 100 joules. Dropped that Sunday. Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
Angel Hearts Service 8245 or SVC 10 joules and a gold coin. Thank you. The Gary Noir 10 joules gold coin. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Came back and dropped 30 joules. Clutch. Appreciate it.
We out here cooking. You cooking, Dukes.
Man,
like it's crazy.
You. Hey, Sharon Bland, $1.99. Great show on all topics. Both of your shows are fire. Thank you.
Appreciate
CBZ.
it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Debbie Garcia. Need Dukes as a guest on the Final Cut. Member for 16 months. Thank you, Debbie.
Debbie Garcia, she's been down, holding us down both for a long time, by the way. Oh, no, don't get it twisted. Like, we got some plans. I got some. I'm about to turn I will drop this. What we're going to try to do is we're going to turn the barbershop into, like, we like featuring people. I mean, I got something coming out, and we got something called The Insiders. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Cleveland media. See, it's shout out to Daniel Fusi. Shout out to Cam Justice. There's some real ones out here that's really breaking it down, that's really doing it with some integrity. And what we're going to do is we're going to spot shadow everybody in the media. Don't be doing the weird stuff and the strange little stuff. Some people really know. So what we're going to do is we're going to start highlighting the people. We're going to start highlighting those individuals. We're going to start having them conversation, and we're going to start operating like a network. Because what we need to do is we got to have, you got to get programming schedules. You got to have, you talked about bringing sitcoms back.
Right.
See, I want you to turn into the barbershop, and you just ain't hearing G. Bush having monologues. You can get you some insiders from Cleveland people that's doing this writing. You can get analysts, right? You can come watch Tyvus do film breakdown on Thursdays. You get the Final Cut on Wednesday. You want family time? I got family time. We do top 5 on Friday. You want to talk college football? My brother going to do a show called Tailgaters. I got an offensive lineman feature. My brother was offensive lineman. Let's talk about the trenches. So what I want to do is get to a point where we having these conversations where you can pull up and you can get something from different people, different places, featuring people, and really doing it like we gonna do it, man. So that's what we're looking to do, man.
Always forward thinking.
Yeah, because if you don't, guess what? By the way, shout out to. People say, I don't know about you be doing UCSA. UCSF is my platform too. I built them bricks over there too. I put bricks in over there too. What you talking about? Them arguments got us somewhere. So shout out to them. Shout out to taking the UCSS. We will be on TV.
Wow.
Whoa.
Run that back.
Yeah, we're gonna be on TV. We're gonna be on News Channel 3, WKYC, starting September 8th. We will be on an hour of television every single day, 5 days a week. You can watch us on television. We still gonna keep YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube, and we fought to keep the YouTube popping. I said we can't. That's the lifeblood. The chat is the chat. We ain't going nowhere with that. And you can watch us on the WKYC app. But more importantly, is still having the opportunity to have these platforms and to be able to broadcast, on television and do things like that. And it's, it continues to, again, it elevates voices, because if I go there, I'm taking people with me. Because we still keeping that independent media. You know what we're talking about. We still gonna be waving that flag.
That's tough, bro. Man, congratulations, bro.
Shout out, appreciate you. And it's you know why it is? It's the people. Because them same folks that was right over here, that's watching you and me, that's at the barbershop. When I went over to UCSS, what was they doing? They was right over in that chat, regardless.
Nah, that's hard. Easter's Walk 2006 with the $5 super chat said, Dukes, G the GOAT, what it do? Both your journeys are inspirational for those that understand. Keep grinding. Absolutely, my brother.
Appreciate you.
Rodney Dickens from the 912. What's up, Rodney, with the $4.99 super chat said, GOATs. Oh, and guess what, Rodney Dickens? Maurice Gleason is now playing football at Arkansas. He just got his number yesterday. He's going to be number 86. That's my partner, Parlay for Franchise Boys. His son is like the fastest kid in the world.
Bro, I remember going to see the Franchise Boys in Huntington, West Virginia.
Wow.
In Huntington, West Virginia, in a club, and it was crazy. I had a crazy story. Man, like, yo, they thought I was Byron Leftwich. And they was like, yo, this is Byron Leftwich. He used to go, Marshall, I used to look just like him.
Oh, I can see it a little bit.
We was in VIP. We was VIP. They was like, G. Bush, don't be hating. You gotta impersonate Byron Leftwich because they're gonna get us these bottles.
Hey, hey, watch this. Hey, so look, G. Bush, watch this. I got Parlay from the Franchise Boy. I just pulled him up. Lay, what's up, boy?
What up?
What's going on, dog?
Hey, what up? He telling the story. We on live. We've been on live about almost 3 hours. He telling the story when they was in when y'all performed in Huntington, West Virginia, and they thought I think they thought he was like Byron Leftwich. He kind of looked like him now.
Like they was like, yo, we would, and they had somebody open a shout out to this one of my guys, Tremaine Neal. I think he opened up for y'all. He had a little group back in the day. Man, listen, when the Franchise Boys came out, they had everybody. Like, you couldn't tell nobody they were leaning rocking. Bro, stop it. Like, they was leaning. I tell you not. We drove to Huntington, West Virginia.
Hey, boy.
Yeah.
Now, hey, look, I was just telling him Lil Lay just matter of fact, it's like, man, Lil Lay got a big fan, Rodney Dinkins, and he follow him track everything. And I was just telling him that he just signed to play at he's gonna play football at Arkansas too. And then G. Bush had a cool story. I said, man, we call Lay, let him hear this.
Congratulations to your son, man. That's crazy, man. Like, Division I is a big thing.
You never know how being a good person, how far it stretch. You know, you never know when you're gonna run into somebody else again in life. You never know the position somebody will be in, bro. So I just stories like this just make me say congratulations for always staying solid and real, bro, for all the years, bro. I did the payback, stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? When you hear stories like this all the time. So I appreciate your experience, dog. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we did, I'm glad it wasn't that bad.
Nah, it was all love. It was all love, man. Like, a lot of times people people don't understand, man. At some points in time in your life, you can do something and you might not think it got the impact. But bro, listen, I'm from Ohio. Like, from the fact that what y'all was doing and y'all had the wave, that wave you had is different, bro. And I don't care if you had the wave for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 2 years. Like people recognize it. Like, I'm some dude from Cleveland, Ohio, and we drove. I had a Ford Taurus show, and it had 3 rims on it. It had 18-inch rims and blacked out lights. And I was like, bro, we drove down there. You couldn't tell us nothing at all.
Man, that's hard.
That's all right, bro.
Hey, Lay, I'm gonna hit you in a minute, boy.
Okay.
All right, boy.
Yup.
Man, you never know, boy. When you get with Dukes and G. Bush, you just don't know.
You don't know. You should be pulling up people on the phone.
Man,
like, yo,
hey,
what's
boy, I saw that Lazy Bone interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some. Do you know what's funny? See, when you be dealing with big time people, like, or you dealing with other, I don't even, because I just look at myself. I like to tell stories, and I don't never think that these folks are going. When the Dope B came on, I was like, that is crazy. And then, like, I was talking to somebody, and Earl said, they had put him on the phone with like Raphael Sadiq, and I'm like, what you mean? You mean the Raphael Sadiq? Hold on. You mean the Tony? Hold on. No. What you talking about? He was like, bro. And he said he watched the show, and it was like, it's crazy because now there's different people that, say, a couple of interviews that we got that's tentatively scheduled. But the crazy part about it is I never assumed that I was going to do no interviews like that, bro. Like that, you can't even make that up.
Man,
Can't even make that up.
I
and
was
that came
there. Hey, boy, like, nah, man, you blessed, bro, for sure.
Man, that's a blessing, man.
We got Sean Fitzpatrick said, Duke, $5 super chat said, Duke, good to see you making it happen on your own and linking with G. Bush, a good thing. Man, absolutely. Hey, man, hey, he got the Midas touch, dog. Anything that man touch, it turn to gold right now, my boy. We're going to keep it going.
Man, listen, hey, you know what's so funny? Because I told him, and I love the fact you got a business mind to him. I told him, I said, listen, just let me know when you want to do it. And he was like, oh, no, yeah, he don't know it. But it's about to be in like 2 days. He don't even know. Yeah, I'm going to catch you. Yeah, I caught them, you know what I'm saying? He was at training camp. Oh, you at training camp? Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, come on with it.
I need that. I said, oh, no. And like, he was like, I know you're busy right now, big dog. But I said, no. He's like, Mad Dog used his too. He was like, yo, hey, yeah, see, he was, yeah, let me, like, what's good? I'm like, listen, I watch Game of Thrones. A Lannister always repays his debts. He'll be up. I'm gonna answer the phone. It's only right.
Man. But, and I thought about it. I said, dog, you can't just not keep going. Once you go prime, you can't go. You can't let the, you know what I'm saying? I got on. So I started with, so it happened. Man, I had a quick live I did on Monday nights, and usually I just go in and I answer every question. I try to.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said, man, when you gonna get Darius on the phone, on the line? And Darius is supposed to be doing an interview for a long time.
Right.
And he finally just did it, right? And he introduced his new format that had a lot of people talking, where he was going to see people who left Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And he introduced it on my show. So I was like, dang, that mother did good. And then it just so happened, I had a Coach Prime ticket in my back pocket, right? But he didn't tell me, but I had to wait on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll mess around and just hit you and be like, hey, tomorrow, get ready.
Don't know. Like Prime have you, he had you all in, you be sketched out. You be like, bro, like, will you be like tomorrow? He be like, yeah. I got time about 1:30. You like, whatever I had at 1:30 is now getting moved.
Over with, bro.
I said, I hope they don't make me use no PTO for UCSS, because if he just said 11, I'd have been sick as heck. Yeah, I ain't even gonna make it today, dog. I got something pulled up.
Man, Prime hit you like the Godfather. He was like, hey, dude. He said, dude, when you want to do that, dude? I said, man, Coach, whenever I don't want to hear none of that. Hey, man, tomorrow.
Facts. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, it's for sure.
That's exactly just like you said. He said, no. I said, I'm thinking that I'm about to get on a plane, or I don't know what. He like, no. I'm gonna check with a couple of people, figure it out. Because I don't really do this internet stuff. I'm gonna make sure everything good. And I'm like, all right. Man. I'm thinking he like next week. He like tomorrow.
Yep, exactly how that go. And so coming off a Darius interview and then going to a Coach Prime, I knew there was only one person I wanted to. You know what I mean? I was like, man, if I get that G. Bush, and look at what it's doing, bro. Like this, bro.
I don't even see. I ain't used to being on the other side. I don't even see the numbers. Like I just know. I'm like, listen. I just knew it was funny because I was like, yo, they got a credential. I'm like, well, listen, it's camp. We'll see what's going on today. They usually give you your passes like 48 hours in advance. So they're like, all right, well, your pass ain't gonna be ready for this today. It'll be ready on Wednesday. I'm like, well, cool, bet. Like I got, So when I seen, I was like, okay, well, we good. And then I'm thinking, all right, well, tape record or whatever. It's crazy. I didn't even think it was going to do. I didn't know you didn't do lives.
Nah, bro. Like the only time I started out doing lives at like 9 o'clock, and I would do them on my own sporadically. And I was just like, well, I can't really do no real live, right? Like I ain't never so the most I do is an hour. And so today, this right here, and then the Coach Prime went over an hour, and I was like, I ain't know what to do after an hour, like system overload. Today, this ain't nothing but God, because I am in uncharted waters. Like for real. This is I'm like, hey,
what
buddy,
is this?
Yeah, I got no clue.
I used to tell people, so because I watch, I come from an era where it's like, I watch live streamers. And so like when I was studying and figuring out, I would watch people live stream.
Right.
And I used to always tell people I respected people that did live streams or people that do radio host jobs. And when I used to be on the radio, they would say, all right, G. Bush, can you go on tonight to fill in 7 to midnight? Now I done worked in the corporate America job. I don't get off to 5. So that means I got to leave there and get to the station, and I got to do a 7 to midnight shift. So I got to book guests, and then they'll put you on 7 to midnight, and it's during basketball season or the Guardians. People in Cleveland watching the game. Right. So I got to have 5 hours of material. 5. And it's 11 o'clock. Ain't nobody calling up. So you build your stamina up to be able to talk for that long. And it took me a long time just to talk and not seem like you sounding running in circles. So now when I do my live on Saturday, I'm like, man, this is light. And I always told people the cheat code is having 2 people that's engaging, because you can talk right now. Come on, man. You do this in New York, you got to pay somebody $80,000-$90,000 a year to do this.
Right.
To just talk like this 2-man game. We ain't had no graphics.
Man, we ain't had no graphics. Bro, like this is organic. Like I'm telling you, like whatever we figure out to do, I know it's a hit. Whatever we decide we gonna do, whatever we figure it out.
Man, that the boy right there. I looked at it, was like, man. I was like, well, he might be doing pretty good. I said, because I don't listen, I don't see nothing. It's just like you backstage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the thing is, you're like, okay, we good. That's just, the people.
Man,
like
look, when I tried to let you out the front door. You said, nah, bro, I'm chilling. I said, for real? I'm thinking you finna hightail it out of here. That man said, no, I'm kicking it. I said, oh my goodness, bro.
I mean, I told you, listen, I'm a man of what I said, bro.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You hard for that, bro, for sure.
Listen, he said, he came on my joint. And the thing is, look, man, you got to be able to, like, my job is to deliver. Like, if I believe in giving people their money's worth. And I'm like, well, look, man, I want this show to be engaging. I want to go at it, because they only remember your last stuff.
Man.
They only remember, like, they ain't going, I had a crazy fire show on my show, but they want to see you cook on any platform. They don't care if it's in a home or away game. You better score 30.
Bro, you know what made Wayne go crazy? When he was killing them features. That's when Wayne went from here to there. The mixtapes and the features.
Man, he was getting on there. Bro, he saved single-handed. Listen, when you came out, Lloyd was doing back. Lloyd didn't even have a deal. Lloyd, look, Irv got in there and put him on the shelf. Then he comes out with no ceilings. And then he out. First and foremost, this crazy because he came on that Carter too. He's like, I'm like, when did you start rapping that? When did you start rapping? When Go DJ came out, when did you start coming up from the Tommy? Listen, come on, man. Like when he started talking that body marked up like the subway in Harlem, call him Weezy. Like what? What are you talking about? Put him on a different level. I still remember No Ceilings. He's got on other people's the swag surfing beat. He killed that, destroyed it, and then it was like, okay, it was like, all right, well, that's Wayne. But you can always think about it though. Like, this is why I feel like, honestly, like I like when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, or Can't Ban the Snowman came out, or when 2 Chainz came back and he was 2 Chainz and he wasn't part of Player Circle. There's always a time in hip hop, because hip hop is part of the culture. It is of the culture, that there's a point in time when you are undeniable.
Right.
And the goal is you have to do all you can while you got it. Somewhere, somehow, it's some dude that another person that may be listening to G Bush and be like, yo, when G Bush had it, it was crazy. But he on some other stuff. And he gonna come in, and pretty soon ain't nobody gonna hear nothing I'm saying, because he gonna be it.
Right.
He gonna have the wave at that time. And the goal is you do all you can do, and then you pass the torch.
Right.
You do what you can do, because it's always going to be somebody that's going to have it. When Wakester came out, Jay-Z told everybody in Rockefeller, y'all got about 6 months. Y'all better put 50 Cent is coming.
I remember. Yeah, I saw that.
50 is on the way. And then when 50 had his wave, you know, like it was a time Game was the hottest dude in the world, or Eminem was the hottest. Shut up. Listen, you gave a Ludacris story. Man, Ludacris, when Stand Up, like, come on, man. Like, come on.
Bro.
Like, Ludacris was the hottest rapper in the world for a couple of, for 2-3 years. Come on.
Yeah. He was. He had a wave, bro. And for somebody to be able to do it in Atlanta and on that stage, because Luda came from the radio. So he was Chris Lover, right?
Yeah, right.
And for us, he actually went to my high school. So for us to see Chris Lover turn into that, we just became numb to superstars. And that's why everybody in Atlanta think they famous. Because it's like, bro, you right here with this dude, and the whole world knows this guy now, and he's just Chris Lover from around the way.
Y'all the best in the world at remaking, like when, we didn't even know Bobby Valentino was from, I said, you was on Blackberry Molasses? I said, that's Bobby Valentino?
Yeah.
Like, y'all cats will get a remake, and y'all will redo y'all whole joint. And I'm like, dang, who's this new artist? Now in Atlanta, you just recreated yourself.
Bro, on everything, bro. Like, it's funny because now, you know, when I used to rap, I was pretty good, right? So I got some songs with some pretty good people. So then when I'm able to do stuff like, I'm like just like, people will be amazed. They'll be like, dude, how you know him? Like,
yeah, that was kind of crazy. Like, you just said the franchise. I'm like, bro, they
oh yeah, let me call Lay. Like, or what? Like the other day when I had Dro on there with Coach Prime, like I hit Dro and put Dro. I'm like, Dro, hey man, because look, Dro go on the podcast, right?
Oh, you hold on. You ain't gonna say, hold on. I don't like how you just did that. You just threw his name. You talk about Young Dro?
Yeah, Dro.
Man, come on, man.
No, dead serious, bro.
You like,
bro. Oh, okay, cool. This is what happened. So my partner's the Water Boys. Matter of fact, that's another one. Playboy Trey, who was with B.O.B. and Be Rich, who managed B.O.B. The Bet I Bust song with T.I. and Playboy Trey and B.O.B. T.I. Playboy Trey. They got a part. They sports. They the Water Boys. Dro go on the Water Boys podcast and say, they ask him about, you know, Coach Prime and what he means to Atlanta. Dro say, man, I got a little beef with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, because I'm the only person that dropped this name in the #1 single in the country. And he ain't invite me to no game. Now, he said it kind of tongue-in-cheek. So what I did when I talked to Prime, I was like, hey, Coach, man, I'm finna. He said, you know Dro? He said, yeah, I know Dro. I said, I'm finna bring him on. He said, yeah, bring him on. He said, I told him what we're going. He said, man, bring him on. I put him on the phone. So I called Dro, and Dro don't even know what I got going. I said, hey, boy, I got your favorite player. And I put him face to face with Prime. Man, Dro turned. It was like Dro was like a little kid again, bro. I promise. It was just the other day.
Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something. First and foremost, Dro might be one of the most underrated lyricists ever. When he be talking about, when he be talking about the flip-flop jag and first and foremost, the stuff he be talking about is outlandish. Like, his flow is outlandish. Like, ain't nobody rap like Dro. Second of all, ain't nobody in this game, when it come to that polo.
Oh man.
When it come to that, like Ralph Lauren, that man. This man Dro, like, when he was the first dude, like, this is so crazy you saying this, because we was in New York.
Okay.
And I went to the polo store and I thought I had made it. Like, because you can't go in the polo store. You can't just pull up in there. Like, you got to have you can't just show up. Man, I thought I had made it. Dro had the Big Bear polo joints.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Bear polo joints hit different. And it's a whole nother price tag.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a whole nother, them bears, the bigger the bear, the bigger the bag. Dro had the life-size Paddington joints. Like, so when he would, like, to me, I was like, bro, I still to this day, I'm like, dang, him on the Ain't I is crazy. Young LA got to come back out.
Right.
He got to come back out and do some more show. I said, why is Young LA trending?
Man,
what happened?
Dro 1-on-1, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you how crazy that, and let me tell you how we had to make that Dro thing happen. Dro, when Dro got sober, like, so Dro he done talked about this. I ain't talking about it.
Yeah,
he talked about it.
He done a joint with T.I. and like I done watch all them joints.
Bro, you can't. Dro got a flip phone, so you can't. If you call Dro, if you on a FaceTime Dro, he got to be with somebody who got a phone, because he keeps a flip phone. So you might hit Dro. He not on social media like that. Like, so he had, when I called him, he had to go. I said, bro, hey, boy, I got somebody to talk. I got somebody for you, boy. You need to jump on this phone. Like, what you talking about, dude? Man, what? Go get to a phone. Go get to a phone. He got to one to get on the phone and find out it was Prime. Like, that was a crazy moment. I'm glad I got to say that now.
Bro, listen, he kind of know Coach Prime, but let me just, like, I'm a like, you know what I love? When you can be a fan of a fan. Like, somebody can say somebody you know, and you be like, man, that's one of my, like, I feel like Young Dro, like, that's one of my dudes. Like, man. Like Tokyo joint, I'm like, yo, that beat is still crazy. And I'll be like, yo, it's shout out. You tell him when you say, man, yo, I see this boy G Bush. This dude is one of your biggest fans. Shout out to Young Dro. I'm just like, yeah, shout out to him.
Dro hard. He like right now,
hard.
And I say this all the time, and you know, I might get to arguing about it, but after Andre 3000, word for word from Atlanta, give me Dro.
His lingo is unmatched.
That's my preference.
That lingo, like,
bro.
that like, because I like dude, like, you got to think about it. He on joints with T.I. He on with T.I.
Right.
That's T.I., bro. Like, he said he was the king of the South, and nobody didn't deny it.
Nothing.
Nobody said a word.
Right.
Like, T.I. had a run where it was like, it wasn't, bro. T.I. versus T.I.P. versus T.I. King. Like, bro, he had it, bro.
Right.
Like, I still play I'm Serious. I'm like, how did you get that Pharrell beat? How did you get it? Like, you in Atlanta, you got a Pharrell beat. How is that possible?
Right. You know what? And it's crazy because Lil Baby just dropped that Dead Fresh. He followed the T.I. formula. When it got that Pharrell, brought him right back. You feel me? When it got that Pharrell.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, even, bro, but there's so many waves in Atlanta. Like, if I remember the first time I heard 42 Doug and what's the name? When they said I'm rocking with the Lions, I'm rocking with the Braves. Yeah, we paid. Yeah. I said, yo, that was the hardest. I said, yo, these dudes, these young boys is cooking.
Man, when 42 Doug, when he hit with that whistle, I said, oh man, I don't know. And I found out that was his signature. You know, it's Doug when you hear that whistle. I said, oh boy.
Yeah. Look, I even, let me tell you this. This is crazy work. You say, where did you get like the format when you're talking about the barbershop, and when did you like start to like get ideas? I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
One of the biggest, what started me doing like life blog, like, so in 2018, 2019, I got a documentary called The American Dream.
Okay.
And it's on my channel, and I did it because I wanted to document before I came up.
Okay.
And I said, I knew I was going to hit different. And I did this documentary, bro. And I paid my dude to do it. You know where I got the idea from? Where? I got the idea from Rollo. Rollo did a blog. He did a series in the blogs. And he was doing it from he was calling it Pakistan.
Mm-hmm. That's what they call where he from. They call it Little Pakistan.
And Rollo, he had him, and he had all his fam goons down there, but they was all Muslim, and he was riding around in these like foreigns, but he would be in the projects. He's like, yeah, I bought the projects. And
he bought the whole apartments over there.
So when I was seeing Rollo, I remember having surgery, and I remember the first time seeing a videographer and then how they was moving and his movement. And it made me want to be like, nah, I need to have a camera following me around. And and Rollo, like that, and then because here's how I knew it, because it was, you know how in your spirit you can know something authentic, but it can be authentic and it can be actually in the world too. There was something undeniable about the authentic nature of the way Rollo was talking, that I believed everything he was saying. And I was watching it, and then turned out everything he was saying, it was real.
No, Rollo,
like for real.
No, like, they call where he from. They call it Pakistan. What's little baby from Little Cali? Old National, like the area I'm from, they call that Crenshaw. Like Bankhead with Tilton from, they call that Ocean Drive. Like in Atlanta, it's like its own America, right? So it's crazy. So like every hood got like a different. It's a reason they call where Rollo them from Pakistan. Trust me.
Man, shout out to what's his name? Because what's his name? He ended up passing away. He had the joint. He had the joint with the remix was with. It was with Ross, Gucci Mane, Birdman. I think he signed the free bands.
Scooter.
Young Scooter.
Columbia. Talking about Columbia.
Oh, man. Shout out to Scooter, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I remember watching, he's like, yo, Young Scooter put me on. And he was like, and then I remember he had Future.
Yep.
Future, he came to the hood. By the way, I don't think I might be, one of these dudes. But it's tough to beat Future in a versus.
Bruh, man, dog. All right. But for about 6 months, me and Future were about best friends.
Bro.
Like, I watched this whole thing, and now I'm watching how, like, Future really. So Future came from the Dungeon family.
Right.
And so that's all these my partners. Cool Breeze, C-Bone, these my big dogs. And to see Future, man, so 2009, 2010, right before he go on this run, Rocco was popping. Rocco and Shawty Low. God bless Shawty Low. Rocco and Shawty Low was popping. Remember I told you DJ Scream, my son, God Daddy. So I'm with the whole hood. So
shout out to
Scream
Rocco.
did both of them mixtapes back to back. The They Know mixtape with all of that with Shawty Low stuff, with Dun Dun, when he was him and Tip getting into it.
Yeah, they was going at it.
And Rocco with that whole movement he had.
You
with
ain't
this
know?
morning, boy, all of this stuff comes out. We'll go to the club, 60, 70 people deep. Future would stay in that studio, bro. Future would stay. If you go back and watch Rocco old videos, Future all in them, carrying the bags. He's doing everything that's not like a star. Future would stay in the studio. It would now they were getting ready to promote Future. Future would not leave. He would stay in. He wouldn't go party. He would sit in the studio, catch his plays. Now this ain't what I think. This is what I saw with my own two eyes. Future would stay, and but I knew. And I can't say I knew he was gonna blow like he did. What I can say is I knew they weren't gonna be able to outwork him because he was willing. And Rocco, man, Dro would tell you that Rocco was putting money in his pocket without no plan for a single. Dro was the freshest dude in Atlanta, and Rocco was making sure he was straight before we knew before Rocco had it. We knew who Rock was. He was going with Monica before he got rich. I mean, not excuse me, before he got music, he was already rich. But to see Future work ethic. Back then, you knew great things were coming. And it just shows me like even now, me staying here working right now, I'm like, bro, you working with me, I know for a fact it's great things to come because, bro, we ain't got no business on no 3-hour stream.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
man, we
not.
Working.
And you know, the crazy, I remember watching Andre 3000 and, you know, talk about his wordplay and what he do. And how he go about it. And he said, me and my son listen to Future. And Future begin saying, he make the most ratchet stuff sound crazy. He said, yo, you just like, how did he? Man, listen, man. The dude Future is rapping now on his new joint. Like, I'm like, bro, his pocket is, like, he the only dude. Think about this. He the only dude. He the only dude that could go back and forth and have like a semi issue with Drake, and then they had to they gotta sew it back up and get right back to it because the music's too good. I'm on Iceman too. I'm on Iceman. Listen, I mean, but like this is like even when you hear, I remember hearing DJ Esco, the coolest DJ in the world. I'm like I didn't like you just knew DJ Esco was just working at Magic City and getting everybody paid. I didn't know like he was locked in. And then the fact that they go break these records in the clubs, and it's like, bro, we'll know. Like Jermaine Dupri will say, "Hey, bro, JD would say we know it's hot, but we gonna break that in the club, and if we gonna figure out what it is, and from there, like." Dirty Sprite, like, come on, man. Nobody knew what that was. No one knew.
Man.
Like when March Madness came out, I just had to throw my hat. See, dang it. What? What are you talking about?
Insanity, bro. Insane.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Crazy. The craziest time ever, man. Man, boy, hold up. Let me get these doggone super chats, bro. Man, this might be my... Look, you said you got a lot of. You said your parents. You got a lot of aunts and uncles. My mama got 21 brothers and sisters. We might be related, bro.
Because think about this like this, bro. We talking about again. I'm from Canton, Ohio. We just sat here and talked an hour about Atlanta hip hop. Only Atlanta.
Yeah.
We haven't even got to the pioneers. We ain't said nothing about no Outcasts. By the way, Big Gip gives the best interviews of all time.
Right.
This man, his black team, we have not gotten into how your boy just keeps like Young Jock. Like Young Jock that made his life over 5 times.
Jock.
5.
Yep.
And he's still like Young Jock, like we ain't talked to you about half these pioneers, but we can be all day.
Oh yeah, man. We gotta they dropping names of of a potential collab in the chat. We're gonna get to those, but man, I'm gonna save this chat. But we know, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it.
Like, yo, that's crazy.
Bake ZD8725 sent a $10 super chat. Appreciate it. She said, I love this discussion. That tier list had me grinding my teeth. Two Lord and McCarthy, crazy.
That was wild work. I had to go back to it. I said, "What the is this?" JJ McCarthy is on the list? Nah, absolutely not.
That's crazy.
Absolutely not. No.
Life is beautiful and grand. 999 said, Duke, if you keep talking to G, he will convert you to a Browns fan.
That's what happens slowly.
Life, and he has done it to me. New Cleveland. Now, I tell you what, I'm a Shedeur fan, so I always got room for a second team. Right now, my second team the Ravens because of Lamar.
See, and you know, and how we keep talking about it. I keep talking. You see how I be saying, I'm like, come on, bro, you got Lamar Jackson. Out here moving around, man.
Yeah, man. Hold on, what we got here? We got Sassy Southern Creations ATL passing the plate. Appreciate that, Sassy.
Appreciate you.
Rocky Miller 499 said, this is the people's channel. When everyone else was lying, G. Bush kept it 100 with us. Rocky Miller, appreciate that with the 499 super chat. You know that boy G. Bush keep it 1,000.
Keep it a stack.
Man, Sheldon Miles. What's up, my boy Sheldon, man? Sheldon with the man, we got the Miles and Duke season is in progress. So shout out to Sheldon. He said, how hard is it to sit and listen to the media when you know that they're not being honest? And they know that they're not being honest when it comes to Shedeur and his practice production. And you let the fools hang themselves, bro.
Well, I mean, it don't hit me like that no more because I just go watch it. And then I'm like, see, now you can't really tell, you can't create nothing because I could just be like, well, I was there watching it and it ain't what you said it was. So, and then we can just do that. So, like I always said, sometimes you got to just let people talk. Like after a while, it start to don't have the same level of because they think, like, we never went to the moon. Oh, all right, man. That's what's up, though. All right, dog.
Craig Johnson gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Craig.
We appreciate you.
Mike Stephanie, 499 super chat said, people love authenticity. Keep it real. They don't have to be perfect, but it got to be real.
Got to
be real.
Got to.
Freedom Genesis, what's up? What's up, girl? She said 10 jewels. W for sure.
We appreciate it.
10 more jewels with another W.
Appreciate you.
Wow. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Passing the plate for the start of the G. Bush Duke show. Hey, we're going to figure something out for sure. we don't know what it's going to be. We're going to do something. We'll be back together.
You see us again. You ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Sideline Smoke Unfiltered said $1.99. What's good? I watched that Prime interview, Scoop. Fire. Man, appreciate that sideline. Sideline Smoke Unfiltered, SSU, for sure. Freedom Genesis with the 10 jewels and a gold coin. Thank you. William Davis with the $1.99 super chat. Sharon Bland with another 200 jewels. She been in her a few times. Thank you. Hey, Sharon Bland, you related to Cheryl Bland? Trucker Abdullah with 440 jewels. Uncle Alert for sure. The biggest uncle.
Appreciate you.
Sean Fitzpatrick, 321, $5 said Dukes and G. Bush. I in Huntington, West Virginia, and Marshall. Guy friends. I'm a Huntington, West Virginia, and Marshall guy. Okay. Friends with Kenneth Moss, Troy Brown, Leftwich, go her. Hey, D. Watts. That's one of my good friends, man. We went to school together. Shout out to Darius Watts.
Man, Darius Watts killed us, bro. Him and Marriott and Watt, they had 3 receivers, and we was playing Byron Leftwich. They was out here throwing the rock everywhere. Like, they had Pennington, but then when Leftwich came, he was different. They was out here slinging the rock. I remember when they was carrying Leftwich, this lineman was carrying him.
Yeah,
when he hurt his ankle. Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah, we played it. I played against him all in college. Same era. He graduated, I think, a year or 2 before I did.
Man, that's crazy. Man, I got to call D. Watts next, man.
Yeah, Darius Watts was ridiculous in the MAC.
Yeah, for sure. D. Watts, man. We used to watch D. Watts, man. And you know, we on that team we had that year was D. Watts, Greg Blue, who played safety at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And now we had some about Levant. We had some ballers on that team, man. Shout out to D. Watts.
Yeah.
We gonna talk, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get Pac-Man to talk about that because that year in South, just our little area and our little radius, man, it was Pac-Man Jones, Sean Jones that played for the Browns, Ke'Aaron Fox, Pac-Man Sean, Ke'Aaron Fox.
That's
D. Watts,
crazy.
Man, it was just so many guys in this one little area, man. Ton of talent. Sharon Bland said, Shedeur is cooking. Thank you guys for being you and keeping it 100. I will always support our nephew and uncles. So see you, auntie. Thank you to the aunties, man. And Shedeur definitely thanks y'all. And G. Bush just went and showed y'all how much y'all really mean. Showed the world what y'all really mean. So shout out to G. Bush for showing the world and shining that light on the aunties. Not like y'all need to know more, but he literally took people behind the scenes. So we're going to be appreciative for that. Relax Love 591 with $10 said, this is a major play. Link up with Tally and Twine for custom team watches. G. Bush, link up with Actively Black to go along with your apparel. That would be fire. Look them up and let me know how you feel.
I'll check it out.
Okay, Tally and Twine. D Neon said 499. Dang, y'all still going? Y'all brothers like talking to each other. And then my cousin. I ain't seen my cousin in a month.
Listen. They like, yo, we good. Yeah, we good.
LaShonda Woodson with 350 jewels. Ronald Richards with 10 jewels. Sean P, 10 jewels. Trucker Abdullah with 10 more jewels. Reverend BJ Nelson, my dog.
There you go. I see you, Rev.
With 440 jewels. The Gary Newire with 30 jewels. H. Pierce with 200 jewels. Flow State. Mike Fitzpatrick said $1.99. A quality show. Appreciate that, Mike.
Appreciate you.
And we're
Kool-Aid Mafia.
Man. Kool-Aid Mafia, dog. We made it. Man, bro, look, thank you. G. Bush, I'm going to hit your phone. I know you got to go to work. Man, see you soon. We will be back soon. I'll be back soon. G. Bush, go to his channel ASAP. See y'all. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Thank y'all. We out.
I appreciate you.